Okay, you guys want to do a show?
I guess we've been hanging out for a while.
Yeah, it's been too long. Hello, welcome to Roast Mortem. It's the only show worth quoting on your thesis papers. My name is Tom.
I'm Travis.
I'm Connor.
I'm Mike.
In studio, all of us. Travis, glad to see you here on the East Coast.
I'm in New York.
We can see all of you.
Yeah.
Not just your
It looks
face.
sexy.
Just extra amount of me because I broke my keto diet so I can eat bagels and pizza like a New Yorker.
To be fair, when you left here, you were bigger, and you've lost a lot of weight.
You do look great.
And when you came back, you gained a little bit, but I haven't seen you since then. So to me, you're looking better. Altogether better.
Very slim.
Looking
I
good.
gotta do.
That's
My tum tum.
That's that in-studio sounds. You can't
Yeah.
get anywhere else.
Miss that sound. Connor, why don't we start with you? How's your
Yeah.
week, man?
My week was good. So last week we recorded the one that that's my first script.
Yeah.
And I immediately that night developed a horrible toothache for like the next 3 days.
Oh, yeah?
Oh.
And finally went to the dentist this morning. Got a cleaning for the first time in like 3.5 years.
Oh.
And they're like, your teeth are dirty, but they're in good shape. I was like, well, that's kind of counterintuitive. And they're like, no, that makes sense. It's like you don't have any cavities, no fillings needed, but like you got some deep cleaning that needs to be done.
See, I think you've experienced the spookiness that we all have when you start roasting dead people like those Roman idiots. They're gonna stick their tiny little drill-shaped penises in your mouth and give you
got
toothache.
me right in the back of my teeth. So I got a cleaning for the first time in a while. Felt great. All
Well-
my teeth are feeling real sore.
Welcome to
Nice.
the haunted.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. It feels good to be here.
Yeah,
gang.
thank you very much for doing that.
Yeah,
The
it was
research.
fun.
I mean,
Yeah,
Travis,
good.
you really fucked up. You caught the wrong plane.
Well, I spoke to the captain. I broke into the room and I said,
did.
"Hey, captain,
Right.
I got to do the rest of the show." And he said, "Are you part of ISIS?"
Taliban, correct him.
Yeah, Tailored band.
Come, Mr. Taliban, break into
I'm
the
from
cabin.
the tall band,
Right.
the Taliban.
It's important that we get all of the perspectives on weeks. I'm going to ask you after Travis, Mike.
Yeah, that's fine.
Why don't you get one ready?
I got one ready.
You got
See,
one ready?
no,
Fine.
I'm waiting with bated breath because he's
I have a
wearing a
follow-up
Gilgo
to-
Beach hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have always said that he's
Mike's
a Gilgo
wearing
Beach
a
murderer.
corduroy, I think. Go
Yeah.
Beach
Yes.
hat.
Okay,
For the
cool.
full effect, it's corduroy.
Right. All right. Tell us, before we get into
Oh.
our history, tell us your history.
Well, last week I was talking about open taquito containers at 7-Eleven.
Right. Not good.
And I actually witnessed today, like, two Xanax fiends, like, touching each, like, fucking taquito to figure out which one was hot. Like I was talking about. It's like kind of like my future came
Your
true.
prediction came true.
Yeah.
Nostradamus did.
I
I think they just gotta fix that fucking shit.
No,
That's
it's,
fine.
Mike. The sickest part
Especially
of
on
your
the South Shore.
the sickest part of your story that you told me before the show is that a man put a taquito in a hot
Oh
dog
yes,
bun.
yeah,
And
had it in
asked
the
for
bun.
ketchup.
Yes, he was asking, his buddy was asking for ketchup, and it was very sad to see grown men at 11 a.m. whine for ketchup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't do drugs.
good
is all.
lesson. Yeah,
Yeah,
don't do
there
drugs.
you go.
Don't
Me.
be, don't
Dare.
be poor.
Do
Don't
the
be
right
poor.
drugs.
Yeah, do the right drugs, everyone.
Yeah.
Don't take pills.
There's two
like
reasons not to get poor, because if you have to be poor, you have to eat garbage like that all the time, and then you
That.
can't.
But I like that garbage, and when I see other people ruining my garbage,
Right.
I get offended.
But you don't have to eat it. The point is that because you're
Well,
not
at that moment
poor.
I did.
Well, you're not very poor. You're
I know,
poor.
I know,
But what I'm saying is that it's a plug, actually. Patreon.com/RoastMortemCast.
Please.
If you're begging for white bread to be wrapped in ketchup, then you shouldn't be on Patreon.com.
Yeah.
So we don't want other people
No.
like that. We don't
Yeah.
want people in that situation.
Go on
want to-
Patreon, buy Mike a sandwich.
Please,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want 7-Eleven to hire me. I could fix your whole setup is so wrong there. It's so unsanitary. Like the fucking serving station for like ketchup. I'm getting this 7-Eleven talks.
What about the sauerkraut? That's just like
It's
left out
just
of that.
sitting out there marinating. Got junkies fucking bathing in it, basically testing the ketchup out.
I love it.
You hear that, 7-Eleven?
Get your shit together.
Hire Mike.
Hire me as your consultant.
That's good. Travis, you flew here. Tell me about what it's like to be on a real coast again.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was on my little jet plane. I got the whole row to myself. I was sleeping. Let me tell you, like I said, I ballooned up. I think I've had like 3 pizzas already, and I've only been here for a few days. And I was in Pennsylvania for most of it. If you're ever in Pennsylvania, gotta get the local delicacy, which is creamed chip beef. You ever had
Creamed
that?
chip beef.
No.
Oh,
That's
my,
disgusting.
so good.
Describe
Explain
it
to
better.
me. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
there's 3 words I normally like, but never together.
Yeah.
So,
So
fuck is
they
that?
basically take in this Pennsylvania. They take a piece of bread, they toast it, they throw it on your plate. they chip some beef into these little like
Is it just
wood
cut?
chips,
Is it
like
just
wood
cut?
chips, yeah.
Yeah.
And they put like creamy sauce on top, and that's breakfast.
What's the sauce?
That's a
flavor?
breakfast.
That's a breakfast.
What's
yeah.
What kind of? Describe the sauce in like if you could describe it as
Is it a
something.
mayo cream base, or would you say it's like a heavy cream base?
It's a heavy cream base.
Ew.
It looks a little bit like extremely white cum.
Extremely white cum.
But
So it's
tasty.
the thick
Like a
stuff.
Philly cheesesteak, basically what you're saying.
Kinda,
But
yeah.
like out the other piece of the bread.
Kinda, except it's a creamy Philly.
Right.
Cream
Steak.
chips.
Yeah,
That's what we call
Yeah.
cum
Yeah.
steak.
Cream
right?
steak.
Like a Philip K. Dick.
So
Cream
yeah,
Tube steak, but real tube steak.
creamed chipped beef.
It's ridiculous.
If you're ever in Lancaster, that area,
I just can't believe this is a breakfast.
it's a breakfast. Breakfast.
disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start my day off with a nice heavy cream
Yeah,
sauce.
a pound of plate.
I was in Pennsylvania. I saw a baby get splashed with water in a church.
That's called the baptism for you Jews out there.
Yeah, it's called baptism. The baby got wet. I also I gifted a very excellent present, and it was a statuette of Jesus playing basketball with two children, and it said Jesus is my coach. And
Dunking on the kids.
well, he was just kind of doing playing keep away. Like the ball was up here, and they're both like ah.
Right.
And then
the
I
church.
also got a book called "In Heaven Is There Dirt Bikes," and it's about
In heaven is there dirt bikes?
yeah. And
I
it's-
hope so.
Yeah,
Are
and
there?
It's a mom asking, or like kids asking their mom, "Are there dirt bikes in heaven? Are there Walmarts in heaven?"
All the good stuff.
Yeah,
You're going to
But,
hell.
yeah, you know, I that little statuette you just described, I would love to have that in my house, but with an "and one"
They have-
written on there.
they have a karate version too. Unfortunately, they were sold out. And Jesus skiing too,
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice. That's a holiday one.
getting some carbs in there.
Oh, Black Diamond Jesus.
That's Christmas time right there.
Jesus the mogul.
Tom, how was your week?
Yeah, what'd you do this
I had a
week?
great week. I spent a lot of time with co-host of Heavy Hole and frequent guest here, Justin of Heavy Hole, and frequent guest of here. He's been on this kick where he's spending a lot of money.
I hate that.
So I hit him up on Tuesday, and I say to him, "Let's go for a Taco Tuesday. Let's bring the ladies out. We'll go have a Taco Tuesday." But
right.
this is how you guarantee you go. Let's not try to look for a deal. Let's try to go to the place with the most expensive tacos.
Ah,
So we did that, and I've never been so disappointed. Well, not with the friendship, but rather the
The quality of the food.
yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Quantity of the food.
I got asked a lot of questions. I was in a beautiful restaurant environment, and I feel like that maybe I didn't voice this to them, so maybe they didn't know this. But I left there going, could have been more taco for
The
for
price.
what I'm talking about, like $10 a taco.
I got
And that shit
questions.
is cheap
taco?
to make.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got
Let's be
questions.
honest.
it's garbage.
Yeah.
it is garbage.
Tom, were you doing fish tacos? Because they're
Yes.
very tasty,
Okay.
very tasty, not filling at all.
Right.
And they can charge more money. So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, you got to fill up with the pork and beef and then maybe have like one fish taco at the end.
I did. Well, it's very a la carte, I think, is the word that they use, where you look at the menu and go, "What kind of taco would you like?" You get one of each, and they're each like $10, and it's fine because I'm out there spending money. I knew this going into
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Do you know what that means on the cart?
It does.
Yeah.
Show the Taco
does.
Bell.
But afterwards, we
He
went
was at
to
Taco Bell.
JT
Fancy
Carrington's,
Taco
and I've been drunk ever since. And that
Hell
was
yeah.
Tuesday,
There you go.
so I'm flying.
Did you
Way to
say,
go.
do you see DJ Carrington?
No, I didn't. He wasn't in on Tuesday.
Oh.
But
There's
did
an
you-
old man that DJs at this bar in our town, and he plays all the latest hits and has no clue what they are.
Is DJ Carrington's the one with the pool table in the back?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the hangout spot of choice for the book review staff when I worked there.
Really?
Ah.
R.I.P. book review, but JT
Yeah,
R.I.P.
Carrington's was our post-work hang.
Oh.
That's a good
We,
place.
we
I mean,
were very out of place. It was a bunch of book nerds just hanging
Yeah.
out playing pool.
a bunch of,
DJ Carrington!
a bunch of people who have read a book.
In a
place?
place where the longest word any of them know how to pronounce is Budweiser. Like,
Yeah. It's a lot of syllables.
They can't spell it.
No.
They just know the
They just-
logo.
they just
They're like,
know-
I've seen that.
I
word
know what
before."
that means.
Tom,
Red and white.
Yeah.
speaking of Budweiser, we're going to be in France tonight.
No
Tom,
connection.
Tom,
To what you're saying, yes, I'm listening.
Tom, no, the Budweiser, Le Budweiser.
The delicacy over there.
Who's on the roasty tablet?
All right. Let's talk about it. Okay, tonight on the chopping block is none other than Maximilian Robespierre.
Oh, I know that guy.
Ooh.
Do you now?
Not really.
You wanna-
Maxi ropes.
Wait, Mike, before we get into it, who is he?
Yeah. Are we going to regret this part?
Give us the quick 10,000-foot view.
Maximilian, that's a fucking cool name, I guess.
Yeah, well, he's better known for Robespierre.
Robespierre sounds like a porn star name.
Robespierre.
Shooting ropes.
Yeah.
I like that.
This guy's shooting. It's French. A lot of soft phonetics. So shooting le ropes.
You gotta do the soft R though. Robespierre.
Yeah, that's right. So this motherfucker's like one of the key players in the French Revolution. He's somewhat iconic because of how much he kind of flip-flops throughout his career. He's very heavily involved in the law of France. And the public opinion of him during the time of the French Revolution is extremely hard to follow because week to week, the people would love him or they would hate him because of some shit he said. And eventually, there's a wonderful climax, which we just talked about a different type of French climax in a little bonus episode before we got here, Mike.
yeah.
But this is a climax that you will not forget because it's somewhat ironic or rather too appropriate based on the story I will tell.
I'm about to climax right now, dog.
Yeah, less cum than the first climax.
Don't blink.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, before we jump into the French Revolution, I've always been very confused about it. I feel like with the American Revolution, it was like, see them boys in red? They're assholes. And like, you know what I mean? It's just like, there you go, clean cut. In France, it's like, you'll see that guy with wig, and there's a guy wearing blue, and then there's a Napoleon man, he's on an island. And
Right. The most controversial and perhaps misunderstood figure of the American Revolution is Benedict Arnold.
Yeah. We covered that bitch.
Benny
We
Arnos.
covered him. Go back, listen to that one because it'll kind of. This whole story is just filled with Benedict Arnolds in a lot of ways. Maybe not treacherous, but hard to follow. Like, what the hell's going on? What's happening in their minds?
Right, you're telling me it's filled with a lot of heroes.
A lot of heroes.
Well, heroes.
You fucking pig.
a
This
lot of
is-
heroes that go to zero.
You're,
Heroes that get elevated
You're not
into
a
the
hero.
upper crust of society.
Can you believe this shit?
You're a phony. You're not a hero.
I want to start Loyalist Country.
Loyalist country music. Yeah, that's cool.
I'm
And
in
then
it.
5 years
Crown and Queen.
5 years after that, I'll start Loyalist Pop Country.
Yes.
So
like
Connor and
that.
I were actually talking before we started this, and I thought he mentioned a good caveat, which is I don't know that much about the French Revolution. It's very hard to follow.
It's true.
I don't know much either.
I don't want to be pinned down as a liar because I got something wrong here. I don't know a lot of shit. My first real dive is with Robespierre, so let's get into him.
Wait, what year is this? I'm sorry.
All right, we're looking at
It's like the
Post-American Revolution.
1812.
Nope, earlier.
earlier than that.
80.
Most of the activity happens 19.
17.
God,
Nope.
I'm really
Wow.
fucking up.
You guys are real off.
1780, like late 1780s to mid 1790s.
Is this like what Queen Antoinette, right? And the guillotines and
Yes.
Yeah, Marie Antoinette is
Antoinette.
involved
Marie
in there.
Antoinette, sorry.
Now, I didn't bring her up that
Sorry.
much in this because we might talk about her.
She's
and-
hot.
How do you know?
I had a history class once, and they had a picture of her in the textbook.
She
I
had
think.
big old titties, right?
Yeah.
Are you sure it was not? Who plays Marie Antoinette in that shitty movie
Oh,
Versailles?
I never
what
saw
I'm
that.
talking
movie.
about.
I think
Is
that's
it
who
Anne
Mike is.
Hathaway?
No, it's not Anne Hathaway. It's
Pamela Anderson.
Who's
Yeah,
the
it's probably
romantic
Pamela.
lead in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans?
Oh, Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten
Yes,
Dunst.
it's
Yeah,
Kirsten
yeah.
Dunst.
Yeah.
Is that who
Yeah.
you're picturing, Mike? When you said
Now
she's
I am.
hot?
She's hot. So let's go with it.
Wait,
All right, that's fine.
when she gets decapitated, do they spin her head upside down and Spider-Man kiss it?
I hope so. That's deleted scenes.
They paid a lot of money for that CGI and just tossed it.
Filler.
So, Maximilien Francois Marie Isidore de Robespierre, what a fucking name,
Shooting ropes.
May 6th, 1758, he's born in Arras-Artois, France, a very Catholic and conservative place. It's known as the city of 100 steeples. That's how into the religion they
Oh,
were.
God.
To his father, Francois Maximilien Barthélemy de Robespierre, a lawyer, and Jacqueline Margaret Carlotte, the daughter of a brewer.
Ooh,
So she's a woman.
good
Did you say
lineage.
Carlot?
Carl. No, I said it wrong.
You said Carlot.
Carol. Yeah, I did say Carlotte. Sue me.
Hey, come on down to Robespierre's car lot. We got fucking Toyota Camry 2003. You're gonna love it.
We are off to a
01, good
great
year.
start. Truly. So Francois, I guess, had been metaphorically crashing his yogurt truck into Jacqueline for fun for quite some time. But then it got serious when she discovered she was pregnant. They married, shamefully. Many of the family members would not attend the scandalous wedding. Little Maximilian popped out a few months later, followed by 3 more living siblings and a miscarriage that killed Jacqueline on the way out in July of 1764, when Max was just 6.
Should have used a Jimmy. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, should have.
Sheepskin.
Yeah, get that sheepskin in
Yeah.
you.
Well, I'm saying when you're playing chicken with the yogurt truck, sometimes it doesn't end well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well,
for
you
sure.
should also just use the back entrance.
That's very
True.
true.
Big
very
fan of
true.
that, yeah.
The good old
Back entrance.
Dannon back
Or
entrance.
do the French pump. What was
Yeah, the
pump
French
right?
pump. Fresh,
the
cream freeze
Yeah,
down.
the funeral
The
pump.
funeral
yeah.
The old sewer line.
Well,
you know?
speaking of funeral, this is how weird this family situation was. Is that the father didn't even attend his wife's funeral because there was so much scandal around the family. But as soon as she died, it was like, okay, a little sympathy from the family. Now we start opening up again. So family life actually gets easier when the mom is out of the picture. But
Wow.
his mother's death, little Maximilian, he was rather sad. He wasn't a psycho yet. He had a cheerful demeanor when he was growing up, and then all of a sudden, when his mom died, he was cold. So that happens, your mom dies, you're cold. I understand.
Yeah.
I haven't been there, but here you go.
How could you be sad in Paris, in gay Paris in France?
Well, if you don't
emo.
like dicks in your mouth, you're not going to be into gay Paris.
I'm just gonna say you're gonna just have to eat a lot of those little macaroons, and then you'll be all happy again. Chocolat,
Chocolat? Johnny Depp?
chocolat, Johnny Depp,
Isn't that Spanish?
Jean Depp.
Jean the hell.
Now, at least the
So when his mom died, was he wearing a beret and smoking a cigarette? I can only assume.
no, he was 6. So
yeah,
just
so
a
he
cigarette,
was.
just a cigarette.
You
Yeah,
didn't-
it was
you
all
gotta
about
earn
the
your
beret.
beret.
Yeah. So anyway, the father was like, I don't need a family. So he sends him and his siblings to live with various relatives. Francois was a busy lawyer and didn't have time to be a single dad. Who does?
Fuck that kid.
He held many different political positions, but never really talked to his kids much after his wife's death.
That's the way to do it. I'm just saying.
Just
Clean.
don't touch your
Like
kids.
I'm just saying, the only way I want kids is if I am like I have like millions of dollars and I can do. You know that show, hanging
Nanny?
out with my father with Jack Whitehall.
No.
What the fuck?
Is this some rich English guy? And he's like, he's like 30 or something. He's like, you never saw me until I was 25 because you put me in boarding school. That's how you do it.
That's the English way.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Right. So, I mean, England doesn't have any alcohol problems.
No, France
Never.
doesn't either.
Yeah.
Nope.
So he, along with his younger brother, Augustin, lived with his mother's parents in an overall agreeable household, and they would visit the sisters regularly. So the family was tight, like I mentioned, after the death of the mom. The household was very Catholic. He had 2 hag aunts who were known for their adoration of all things God.
Love it, God.
Rose... Pretty
Thanks,
much.
Mike.
That's a...
I'm trying to get the script going.
Shout out God.
I appreciate the gas on the fire here.
What,
what
Mike,
picture?
Mike, you entering Christian mingle territory now? You dropped Tinder?
At this point, yes.
Okay, cool.
I was on Plenty of Fish, but that was getting a little hairy.
Yeah. Well, because they don't shave those Christians.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, Robespierre was a smart little kid. He had learned how to read before he was sent to school. And at the age of 8, he was sent to the College of Arras, which is, the way they do colleges and universities at this time, it doesn't make sense with how we view that shit. It's like, oh, you're 8 years
Yeah,
old
high
and you,
school.
Yeah.
and you could, you know what a triangle is? You're going to college.
Fucking smart, kid.
Yeah.
It's like how Napoleon went to like a military academy when he was 12. Like,
exactly
the
that.
military academy of France when he was 12 years old.
Nah, he'll be a good one.
He's
Yeah.
a good officer. He's fine.
You see that tiny bitch shooting like with a stick? He's gonna be a good one. Put him in there. Whacking that kid with that stick real good. Put him in the cavalry.
You went real tall.
So like I said, he's a smart little kid. At the age of 11, he was awarded a scholarship to the College Louis Le Grand in Paris, where a bunch of other smart French dudes went. The school was prestigious, but not stuffy. Most of the students were of the professional family type, not the aristocratic type.
Okay.
So,
The merchant class.
the merchant class. Yes, exactly.
I was gonna ask. So like they're still removed from the royalty, even though, but they're not poor, right?
They're not poor.
They sound like third estate.
They are third estate, which I will get into
Yeah.
after because that was kind of confusing for myself. But they are the higher end of the third estate during the Enlightenment period. It was possible to transcend the estates. The estates were the class systems, and I'll talk about that before. But this is the top of the lowest estate out there, crossing over and mingling with the second estate.
Okay.
Yeah.
which is the
You're
nobility.
still like richer than like 80 to 90% of the population, but that top echelon, the upper crust still looks down on you.
And the upper crust is noble.
Yeah.
well,
'cause, like,
the
noble-
top is actually clergymen. And
Yeah.
then it's
Okay.
the nobility. I broke it down later in the script.
Oh well,
so
no, just
it's-
because we've done people like Jacob Fugger, who was not noble, but he had more money than the nobles. So I wasn't sure if there was like something going on like there.
Dude, I'm totally blanking on Jacob Fugger. I know he was like the richest guy, and he was a merchant and all that stuff. What's the time period again?
That was like in the 1500s.
Right. Okay. So that makes sense. That's before the Enlightenment period,
Okay.
which we're in now, where things were able to break through. So a guy like Fugger beforehand was always going to be the bottom of the barrel,
Right.
Unless he got into the church somehow,
Right.
Because the church is how you would transcend that.
Yeah.
But who wants a church?
No.
Well,
like
his
bang
hag
kids
aunts.
and shit.
Yeah.
So either way, our guy Robespierre, he studied there for 8 years. All the languages, Greek, Latin, even I didn't know this, studying French, because the French dialect there during this time period was so broken and stupid that learning classic French, which is closer to what they speak today, was like a skill.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah. Even though the literacy was high in the area, it was just a weird dialect breakup
Like
between
slang?
city states.
That was something Napoleon did when he was in power. He consolidated the French language. He's like, I want one language for our people that
Right.
we're all going to speak.
Yeah. Make it all stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought it was the language of love.
I think that's Latin or cunnilingus.
If you're from, if you're from New Jersey, when you go to college, you have to learn English again.
So he learns all those languages. He learns math, science, Christianity. And while in school, Robespierre only studied. He was one of those kids, very little socializing. And there was this weird morality thing that the Catholics who ran these schools kind of pushed on the kids, which was no close friends allowed. They looked down on people having like close camaraderie. They wanted a group friendship, and that was it.
Because friends manipulate you, make you do dumb shit.
I don't know. These people are regularly fucked up. You bring up some good points. Very solid points there, Mike.
People manipulate you.
So you can have like
Advantage you.
12 friends, but if you have 3, it's kind of suspect.
No, it's like no close groups at all.
Only
Like
acquaintances.
the monks and friars and whatever else that kind of keep eyes on pockets of kids, and if they saw them socializing too much or
Break it off.
they would
Right.
kind of break it up and be
No
like,
fun.
"Hey, you've been hanging out with that one too much. Go over here."
Well, I mean, the monks are just treating it like Survivor. They're trying to break up any of these like groups so they can single out the children
Yeah.
in the one corner
Yeah.
and then
Right.
fucking practice
That
their
does
monkly
sound-
will on them.
Yeah,
Of course,
That sounds
yeah.
like a rape ritual.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't have any friends
to
you
tell
can trust,
anyone.
you're
It
not
sounds
tell
like
anyone.
that.
What
because-
the fuck?
Yeah, we just cracked the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah.
Basically, that
Of
sounds like some
child
fuck-
molestation.
yeah.
Apparently,
Yeah.
it's very dark.
Thank
time.
you.
Why
God.
don't you send us to the secret archives of the Louvre, France?
Thank you, God, for blessing us with that.
Mike shouting out God again.
Thanks for the rapage for kids.
Hold on, can we do a little side tangent on France for a sec?
Sure.
Do you see the shit they did to the Arc de Triomphe or whatever?
Well, they do put a.
It burned down?
No, they just covered it in plastic. They
Oh,
like
yeah,
plastic
I did see
wrap
that,
Arc.
yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
see that.
That was like some artist's like his thing. That was
Yeah.
like his dying wishes to have that.
I
done.
honestly hate artists
They suck.
more than anything.
Cowards.
More than anything, like today. Every time I talk to someone who's an artist,
artist.
read about someone who's an artist, I want to push them downstairs.
Yeah, they interviewed him. They're like, why did you want to wrap the Arc de Triomphe or whatever in plastic? He's like, I've been trying to do it for 40 years.
I thought it was fabric.
I think it was just
Is he,
plastic.
is
No,
he
it was
dead
like, it was
now?
like curtains.
Was it curtains?
Like
I
big
don't know.
curtains
It's
he put on.
stupid. It looks dumb.
Did the
They
guy
look dumb.
die?
Yeah, he died. Yeah.
He's dead? Because
I
if
think
he was,
he's- I think he was
say,
dying,
kill
yeah.
yourself.
I think as he died, as they put that shit down.
Yeah. There you go. Garbage. How do you like that?
He jumped off of it while tied to it, so that way, like when
More
his body
respect
hit
to
it,
him.
it covered it.
I give him respect for that.
All right, let's get back
Die with
into
your craft.
a different time.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to
The Max
monks
Man.
raping and
Yeah, monks raping boys.
So
Yeah.
during this time when the monks are raping boys around each other and, hee hee ha ha, as you do, Catholic,
yeah,
hee hee
yeah.
ha
Hush,
ha,
hush, move me somewhere else.
he's isolated from his family. He only saw them during summer breaks and certain holidays. His dad had moved to Munich, where he died.
Ugh.
His grandparents had died of oldness.
Fuck.
His aunts married and moved away, and they're probably dead now.
They're hags.
Oh,
They are
dead.
hags.
How they
but
get
they're-
married?
I don't know, with desperate men.
Monks that left the
Yeah.
brotherhood.
Those kids just getting a little hectic now.
I'm tired of these kids now. Too
Yeah.
much
They're
energy.
growing up too fast.
I could use a hat.
Tired of these kids. Where are the old women?
Where are the hags at?
And
Kids
his-
have too many teeth.
now, and the worst one was his sister Henriette, who had died at 19.
What a name.
Henriette? Well,
That's a good one to keep.
it's like a small Henry.
Yeah.
Tiny Henry.
know.
Petite Henry.
Yeah, it's like you get one of those
But it's
O.
a
Henry
woman.
bars, but it's the candy, like the Halloween size.
Oh, Henriette.
Oh, Henriette.
Now, he took that very terribly. He was close with his siblings, as I just mentioned. After college, Louis Legrand, he decided to study law at the University of Paris. He started an apprenticeship, although we don't know where. And he enjoyed a more relaxed university lifestyle. There were no laws about when he can leave campus and when he can't. I mean, he's probably 17, 16 or something at this point. At school, he started rubbing the admin the wrong way. He was caught reading some blasphemous book and
Ooh.
was sanctioned,
What book?
not
Sorry.
recorded. It was so blasphemous that the records of the sanctioning doesn't even mention the title of the book.
Little pornographo.
So, I
Probably
guess
jugs.
It was the Da Vinci Code.
What was it?
a little foreshadowing that I realized when Tom told me who he was doing. Robespierre comes in contact to a previous roast of Marquis de Sade.
Right.
Who wrote
Oh.
very risque things. So maybe, and he didn't like Marquis de Sade. So maybe he's reading some Marquis de Sade.
Maybe there was a few other people who like Voltaire.
Probably
yeah,
Voltaire.
was bad boy. He's
Yeah.
a mean
He
man.
was taboo.
Yeah,
That
so I
was
think it
taboo
could have
by
been one of his
Voltaire.
Well,
books.
did Voltaire even write by then?
I don't know. I
would you
don't.
get your
I
hands
honestly,
on
I know
something
nothing
like
of
that?
France. I'm gonna say that 5-6 times more.
That amazes me how they got like books back then. Or at least they had the printing
They
press.
had the
right?
printing press, yeah.
Oh, it was probably Voltaire, just by time frame.
You go like a little shady market, like I got this fucking dirty novel right here.
Check out this
Some hot shit in here.
Yeah.
God, that's a really big cock and balls on that lady with hentai
Don't
face.
tell your priests about this one.
Well, Mike, the way that they would pass their pamphlets around of porn is they would tie it to a hamster. And they'd put it in an envelope, and there's a big X on the envelope.
Are you pulling my leg
And
right
then they
now?
would send the hamster out, and they'd be like, "Oh, here's X hamster," and they open it up, and
You
they
motherfucker!
And then once they invented pneumatic tubes, they'd send the hamster through the tubes,
Yeah.
and that's how they got X tube.
That's good.
God,
You motherfuckers.
good one.
So he was reading X tube, and they said they said no more of that.
perfect. So Robespierre got into. I think I skipped ahead. No, I did. He got into the courthouses a lot. He would sit in on every major course he could. He finished his law school in 18 months, which was 6 months shy of the average student. And in 1871, officially became a barrister. Now, the Oxford definition of a barrister is a lawyer entitled to practice as an advocate, particularly in the higher courts. So these are people who don't deal with clients, but rather grander topics and advocate for
Juicier cases.
more socially based minded
Okay.
cases.
oh, he's a public defender, makes no money.
Well, back then, they willy nilly. France isn't good with
that's
money.
true.
They
Spending it all around.
It's strange. So his
So like public things would be like, "Oh, that's man, he stole my goat."
Right, and they
And
started
then
talking
like
about
the government would be like, that is public property. That's all goat. Now
excuse
Louis get the goat.
I'll be honest, what you're saying is a stretch.
All right. Be like more like Louis can jerk off on the sidewalk.
That's actually closer because that would be a contentious point. You know, like hey, we don't have-
Is the king allowed to masturbate in public?
right.
Yeah.
He's not only above the law, he's he's rubbing the
So
law.
he's like this. They're like the Supreme Court, right? Like, can the president
those kind of
jerk
cases,
off?
big
and-
stuff.
Yeah, okay.
So his school, even though he was sanctioned once, they were so impressed with his schoolwork and his academic accomplishments that they gave him room and board a year after his graduation, which was big. His resume was looking really good because while the other students were out drinking and stuff and socializing, he was out there
Cracking the books.
hitting those court cases, taking his notes, surpassing them. And they're like, this is the kind of blood we want there. So he moves back to Arras to hang out with his two living siblings. His brother Augustin received the same scholarship, Robespierre, based on his older brother's performance. So he was so good that they're like, well, if you're this good, your brother's got to be half as good. Let's do it.
Sweet.
And was he half as good, or is he?
He was fine.
He's fine. He's average.
Augustin, he's
Living in his shadow.
he's a shadow man
Yeah.
for sure. He has a Wikipedia page.
That's
That's
better than me.
great. That's
Hey, I don't
accomplished.
got a Wikipedia page.
I can change that.
Yeah, Augustin Ropes.
That's how I want to go out.
So he was accepted into the council representing the Catholic Church and won many cases, which is probably not hard to do because this is people going against the Catholic Church.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you're wrong.
In Arras, the place known for having 100 steeples. Like,
Yeah.
it's an easy way to get that resume looking solid.
You steal our crackers?
In a job like
Of
that.
course you did.
Yeah, you're dead.
The Bishop of Arras, he appointed him to be one of the judges in the Arras Episcopal Court in March of 1782. Now, Robespierre sounded good on paper, but a lot of his peers claimed that he was cold and calculated, relatively unfriendly. These accounts, though, come from the Second Estate. So as we talked a little bit about the estate, I got some stuff here. You're going to learn how. There are 3 estates aptly named the First, Second, and Third Estate in France. Now, these are the class systems. The First Estate was the Catholic clergymen that was made up of about 100,000 folks. The Second Estate was the nobility, 400,000 people that owned most of the land. They did not have to pay a lot of tax, and they were able to collect dues from the peasants on their land. The Third Estate was everyone else. About 24 million pissed off French people who got the shit tax out of them.
Au revoir.
They had representatives, but they were picked by the people in the Second Estate.
So they didn't have like a fourth estate like India where it's like, those people are fucking nasty. Don't touch those assholes.
Oh, you mean the human trash?
yeah, human trash.
Yes, human trash. They were there, but they were not accounted for. They were part of the Third Estate.
Oh,
They
okay.
were the crust of the
Yeah.
pan that
Oh,
was the
okay.
Third Estate.
Okay. Like the real frog eaters out in the fucking the bayou of France.
No, I'm not really talking about people who live off the land. I'm talking about people who lived in the street and had to beg for money. Human garbage.
Street urchins.
Street urge.
Yeah, garbage people.
Yeah, people out on hard times.
Because most of the Second Estate owned that property, so those people actually had to work to a degree.
These are the people touching the taquitos at 7-Eleven.
Ah, fucking
Motherfuckers.
Mike's
the Third
Mike's
Estate.
people.
They're touching the
Salt of earth.
baguettes. Touching
Sweet baguettes.
my grilled
Can I
baguette.
have a ketchup for this baguette?
I
was
need
Italian.
my baguette. I need my baguette, please.
My taquito.
Now, it's important to note here that the king operates entirely outside of this system. He's not in the First Estate. He's his own entity.
class.
He is the estate.
He's the Sun
Yeah.
King.
Right. And this is the pot in which revolution stew is stewed.
Which, because there's a lot of fucking Louis. Which gooey Louis is this one?
We are on 16 here.
Oh, gooey Louis 16.
Yeah.
And I'm
Sweet
throwing it out there.
16.
I'm not covering a lot of what he had done because we would like to do an episode on him.
Yeah.
Because he's
Yeah.
hilarious.
He's
so
a
bad.
funny guy.
Yeah.
dumb.
He's really bad at his job and
He
just
didn't
way in
even
over his head.
Do a job.
Didn't want the job either. Like, was
Yeah.
like, can I do anything else? And they're like, no, you're the king. Sucks to be you.
Yeah, it's weird. he will be talked about. You will see his demise in this script, but you know it's coming.
Yeah.
You're not. Everyone knows French Revolution has something to do with a king's head being cut off.
Yep.
And spoilers for next week, we're also going to be talking about another Louis. French Louis, too. There's so many Louis.
And we got at least 16 of them.
Yeah,
So
that's at least.
it's going to be a long series whenever we do it.
So 14
Just
was
do
the guy.
Louis series.
Yeah, fuck
1
it.
through 18.
All Louis.
Tune in next week for maybe more of the Louis series.
Yeah.
Louis C.K. next week.
The Louis C.K.
Louis C.K.
Getting swamped.
The
ass
CK
down
is a
there.
Roman numeral for 130. So. It's not, but
It's close, though.
it's close.
Robespierre started writing articles.
Article
Excuse me, that was a burp. And kill me. Robespierre started writing articles about how the Third Estate should be able to pick their own representation. And this did not go over well.
When is this? Did he steal it from us? When does he start writing this shit?
Good question. This is 6. Fuck. Yeah, this is
1780 something, right?
Yes,
17.
thank you.
Remember the illegal age, and then you turn 18.
I forgot my 17s, so I had a good time.
He's in the 80s chilling.
Anyway, it's the mid 1780s, and he's writing about how the Third Estate needs legitimate representation. He's also during this enlightened period that I had mentioned, so he's kind of gliding between the second and third. Also, a lot of people from the Second Estate had been endorsing him and putting them on their team. I mean, for fuck's sake, he was working for the clergymen of the First Estate,
Right.
and people were sponsoring him. The schools are all First and Second Estate, and they're bringing in this guy. They're lightening up the leash a bit, and then he pounces out of it.
Right.
This is a give a mouse a cookie situation. If the Enlightenment didn't happen in France, it would be a very different situation.
But he's stealing that from our bitch asses.
Yeah,
This
he
is the
did.
1780s, dog. I'm just saying.
Well, it's like
absolutely.
we
we
got
started
all
that shit.
our ideas of how to revolt from France, and then we did it, and France paid for it, and then they're like,
Yeah.
Then they got revolted on, and they're like, whoa, this isn't what we signed up for.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's like a lot of the reasons, not a lot, but part of the turmoil of France at this time was how much they had to tax the Third Estate to make up for helping America out of spite for England.
Well, I'm just saying, just like a 2006 Jeep Liberty commercial, we come in and we were like, "Bro, like a rock, freedom," and we're just fucking like crushing shit, and like France is like, "Oh, damn, that's how you do."
I do have a little bit more on that later.
Okay.
On the Jeep Liberty commercial.
On the Jeep
I was
Liberty
about to say,
commercial,
yeah.
specifically. Let's see. Where the hell was my...
He's writing articles.
Yeah.
Right in the articles. Thank you. Thank you for never letting that slide. Right. So, because life back then was just a series of favors from richer people than you, the first and second just hated him. They were like, we're over this guy. France is very tense. A lot of political talks that were taking place about representations of the Third Estate. Many of which were attended by Louis XVI. I'm not sure if it was just to humor people, but by God.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, great.
Thanks for speaking.
Hey,
Robespierre,
showed up.
he portrayed himself as a defender of the people through most of these talks. Very little give, too. He did not like compromise. So Robespierre's reputation amongst his colleagues was kind of ruined off the bat, but because of the change ahead, it gave him the trajectory that we'll be talking about.
So he's kind of like a broken record, kind of like Bernie Sanders, where Bernie Sanders is like the 1%, the national health care, you know?
Yeah.
And Robespierre's like, this shit's fucked up. Number one, number two, stupid. Give us more power.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I like Bernie because I think he's racist, and I like that about him. I'm just kidding. I don't think he's racist. He might be, but I don't
He
think
could be a closet. Who knows?
Probably in like a charming old man way.
yeah, exactly. That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. Like, it's not any one race. It's
That's just his time.
He's
where
an
he
old
grew up.
Jewish man. He's
Yeah.
got some, some, whatever. It's
Different times.
yeah. It's fun. He's a good guy. Maybe.
I'm just seeing Robespierre being that guy that just, his commercial comes on. It's the same fucking shit that he just recycles it.
Well, he was very consistent until the last couple of years of his life with his messages. April 1789. You see, I got the 17 right that time. Robespierre was elected to represent the common folk as a representative in the Estate General, a gathering of estates summoned by King Louis to discuss the financial problems of France. Some of the problems were, as we mentioned before, the American Revolution. They had to pay for that.
That's a lot of money.
That's not free.
Not cheap.
We never paid that back.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
We never
basically
do.
won the war.
We
for-
literally have never
got a lot
paid
of
back
debt.
our revolutionary debts to France.
Or
or the
I-
Netherlands.
or to Britain. The whole thing started, the whole revolutionary was because we didn't want to pay a debt to King
Yeah.
George.
Yeah, we didn't want to. Oh, you saved our ass during the French Indian War.
And then no one wants to fuck with us because we won a revolution. It's very weird. The whole
That's
thing is just
freedom.
based on bankruptcy,
Yep.
which is fine.
That's freedom.
Either way, so between the American Revolution and the amount of money that the king was spending, but people told him he was allowed to spend this. So I only half blame him for this. This is like the riffraff of kings.
Yes.
And again, he didn't want to be king.
Right.
I just want to eat candy and lollipops.
I want
give
to pay. Please.
You sound like a little German boy.
Yeah, give me candy lollipops, and I will stick them in hookers and news.
I have a question.
Yes.
So back then, this shit was like, couldn't they just make more money? Because nothing's really regulated.
No, this is like paying with like gold bullion.
Oh,
Yeah.
like coins
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah.
This
Your
is probably
coin-
harder currency than we've got today.
Yeah, your coin was actually
Went a lot of
like
ways. Worth.
weighed in gold. Yeah, like it
Yeah,
was made of
worth
gold.
That's why you bite.
Yeah.
That's why they bite the coins. It's to test if it's real gold.
Yeah.
Very unsanitary.
And in the
Yeah,
Americas, they took Spanish ones, and they ever heard the pieces of 8? They say it in like pirate. There are pieces of 8. They would take a Spanish Royale and cut it into 8 pieces
Oh, and break it up.
because it was just gold. So
Yeah, so just denominations.
What? Damn, we're fucking backwards with it.
Well,
Continue, Tom.
thank you.
yeah,
It's a great question, though.
yeah.
Robespierre was now representing the Third Estate and on his way to Versailles. During the hearings, he first went after the First Estate, a.k.a. the Church, the same institution that made his career just a few years back, telling them to renounce their luxurious lifestyles and join the common man's cause. The stink had now kicked. He had some notoriety for his brazen criticism, and he had done it in public, and people started listening.
Oh.
In June, the Third Estate had enough of being pushed around and announced they would be called the National Assembly. So they created their own kind of institution. They were like, no, we're not the Third Estate. We're the National Assembly. Please refer to
the
us.
tennis court oath.
Yes, the tennis court oath, which was basically they were kicked out of the facilities where the meetings were taking place, and they went to a tennis court.
Oh.
And then I believe Marie Antoinette went there and kind of backed the people, but she was also on the hyper royalty
Yeah.
with King Louis, so she was able to show up and give these people the courage that probably got a lot of them killed.
Including her.
Yeah.
So this is all at Versailles. That's
Yeah.
where all this is taking place, and they kick them out of like the general meeting hall, and so they're like, "Well, we're going to the fucking tennis courts, and that's where we're gonna have our meeting." It's like Bender storming off in Futurama. It's like we're gonna have our own
Yeah.
National Assembly with hookers, and
Yeah.
beer.
Yeah, I mean, how French is that though? We going on the tennis court.
Yeah, I mean,
What's that guy? Who's the big tennis boy that fucking hits
Roger
things?
Andre
Federer.
Agassi.
Yeah, the uncircumcised man. He just flops his dick out, whacks that ball over the
Jealous.
court.
You say uncircumcised man as if like 3/4 of the men on the earth aren't uncircumcised.
Yeah.
Like,
You know.
the great
It's
uncircumcised
people of the
man.
Jewish religion and Americans.
I'm just saying they got a large racket that they can
You're
stretch
making me
out.
feel like a subspecies, Travis. Stop.
All right,
Because I'm
Mike.
snipped.
Whoa.
Yeah, well, we're all sad together. That's a whole different episode.
Yeah,
Called
we
Snipped.
don't feel anything
The
because we're
circumcision
American.
of the American male.
We're being picked up by Gimlet for our new series Snipped, where white men talk about their disadvantages
Yeah.
because they got calamaried.
Yeah.
You know what? That's the first wrong mistake I made in my life. Letting that happen.
Yeah, you should have fought harder.
Yeah, you should
I
have.
should have went back.
Should have
Sue your
advocated.
parents.
Knock on the door, little baby.
I want to go back, Mom.
Give me my cock back.
Good thing they sell fake foreskins for you, Mike.
I heard you could stretch it out now.
Yeah,
There's
you
a way
can,
to
but
do
it's,
it. But
now it's just a waste of time.
continue, Tom.
Thanks. The king commanded that the estates meet up again and make nice, while upping his own defenses. He was like trying to play this folk hero that wasn't actually there.
Like Davy
So,
Crockett type vibes.
No, David Crockett was totally different in every regard. He lived out in the woods and just went around fighting for various causes because he liked the rush of it.
Sorry. I read a book on him once. Told me some shit like that.
You watched a Disney special all at
No, I
once.
read a fucking book.
It was
you watched
8
the
minutes of a-
Alamo movie.
Yeah,
What's that one?
you watched a clip from Song of the South. That's what you watched. That's what you came up with.
Continue, Tom.
On the 14th of July, 1789, the storming of the Bastille took place. Now, this Bastille was a prison, state prison in Paris, which there was basically the king's untried detainees were held as long as he pleased. The National Assembly, it's not just the king's detainees, it was first and second estate.
It was a white collar prison.
Yeah.
It's like a white collar resort prison.
Well-
and people treat it like it's like
Like Euro
Well,
jail.
they treat it
Marquis-
like Sing Sing. It's
Marquis
not.
de Sade was actually up in the tower during the Bastille. He was removed before they stormed it a few days before. And he said it was pretty bad, but he did have like a bookcase, but he didn't have any light to read.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like-
what a shame. You can only read
it's like
during
there
the
are no
day.
candles for me to read my millions of books in my prison.
Also, think about it, it's like they decided to remove him over who else?
Well, he was instigating the crowd. He was like, he wanted them to. He was calling down from his thing, being like, "Yeah, bitches."
Oh, it wasn't like the royalty being like, we better save this sick writer who
No, the
cock's getting cut off.
no, the
and
royalty
shit.
were like, that cock boy, that Ron Jeremy, the French Ron Jeremy, must be removed. He's rabbling up the poor people.
Meanwhile, he's just screaming down, "Bring me a nightlight! Bring me a nightlight!
Yeah,
I need to read."
bring me a flashlight, sir. A glow in the dark one, so I can read my literature.
The National Assembly started their militia called the National Guard, led by Marquis de Lafayette.
Oh, what a hero!
Yeah, so he was actually involved heavily in the American Revolution.
He's the inspiration for the French guy from the Mel Gibson classic Patriot.
Oh, no.
He actually
way.
might be. It actually might be Lafayette.
I think so. He was
Yeah.
like a big name, and
He was huge in the American Revolution.
yeah.
Lafayette's super fucking cool. We talked about him a little bit on fucking George Washington, and
Yeah.
he was like, "Yo, George, stop being a bitch ass and having slaves. That shit's
Yeah,
stupid."
Lafayette's an awesome guy.
Yeah, well, not according to our friend here later on.
Oh, he had a bit rough ending.
Yeah, so let's see, and so they freed the political prisoners and invaded the Hotel Nationals des Invalides, which is another stretch in Paris where they kept prisoners and the mentally insane and veterans. And
Is
stuff.
this where Wolverine starts singing in the streets?
Are you talking about Les Miserables?
No, that's the 1848 Revolution.
Oh, wrong. These are different miserable people.
Wrong French
Wrong-
Revolution.
Okay, wrong. They have too many.
We've got
See, I don't know.
So many.
They also don't know when to stop and start. I was like reading all this information, like, oh, this is going to come to a head soon. Just kept going. These people,
Just goes and goes.
yeah,
Now let it go.
they make enemies overnight. It's the weirdest thing, French people.
It's the wine.
See, that's why America. I know it
Yeah,
took
they-
about 10 years, but it was one and done. We're done. And then we got our ass kicked by the British again in 1812. But whatever, one and done.
We're gonna do for one.
Yeah, we're kind of due.
Yeah.
We're gonna fight with next.
Ourselves.
England.
Oh, I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking another American.
Well, we just invited, like,
Revolution.
we just invited a bunch of Taliban over here,
Come on in.
and we called them refugees. We're gonna see how that goes.
Gotta keep us
Spend
on our,
20
gotta
years
keep us on our
trying to
toes.
keep them off planes, and then just like, here you go.
Here's some equipment.
Tom,
Yeah.
I saw you opened up your Facebook account. You've been posting all those things about Sharia law. You're in there.
I'm not gonna say anything about that any further, other than maybe everyone shouldn't be in Afghanistan. No one. Everyone
Especially
over
those
here.
spiders there.
Yeah, we
Oh
were
my
watching
fucking
camel spider
God.
fights. It's
Oh my-
terrifying.
terrifying.
Tom, tell us about French camel spiders.
Oh,
Right. Anyway, these French camel spiders, they had a pretty bloody battle there. In the end, the governor got his head cut off. That's pretty fun. Robespierre was outspokenly opposed to holding anyone without trial and admired the militia that had kicked off this revolution. So there, you got an approval of violence. That's and no more prisons. We're not doing prisons.
I like that.
you would
Good-
like this
it's a
guy.
good way to.
Cool.
Wait till you see what his alternative to prisons was.
Yeah.
What, house
Apparently,
arrest?
It's a little different.
God, where did I see a guy who had one of those ankle monitors on recently? God.
Mike, what's
JT
on your leg?
Carrington's.
Oh, yeah, Mike.
Thing itches like a motherfucker.
Yeah, dude, well, you got to wash it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't clean myself.
Good.
Continue, Tom.
Anyway, apparently before this had happened, the king had made good with the third estate in some way. Like, I don't know what he did. He gave him a bread or something. And then they had no intentions of harming him at the time. They were like, this is not our guy. The violence against the first and second estate escalated, though, so the rich people started to flee. Robespierre saw no issue with this, and frankly, I don't either. Why the hell not?
Yeah, get rid of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send them all back to Austria.
Imagine if Mr. Bezos started to flee somewhere.
He can go anywhere he wants.
Go flee to the moon.
You go to space, man,
Yeah,
with little
flee out
boys
there.
and girls. And his rich wife, who
As
only
long
got
as-
rich because of him.
Blood boy with me. I'm okay.
Yep.
You're gonna be Bezos' blood boy.
Yeah.
Mike, you're like right on the cusp of
I gotta
aging
get in
out
shape,
of being a
really.
blood boy.
Yeah,
God.
you
You're
maybe
right-
have 2 more years left.
you're
of
right
being
in
a
the
blood boy.
cusp, and he won't take from your knees.
That's how he's taking from my arms. He's taking my blood.
okay.
You just want blood. You can have
I know
some.
my blood. This is my name Bones.
You actually cut your legs off so your body circulates more blood quicker. I heard that's a thing.
If he pays me enough, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Give me some Amazon legs.
Cut them.
He's got the money. Like,
Just 2 drones
Yeah.
strapped to your stumps.
they probably got some dope shit they're not telling us.
Boston Dynamics, brought to you by Mike. Didn't they acquire Boston Dynamics?
Probably.
Uh,
They
probably,
acquired
yeah.
I think so. Yeah, so you'll be half dog robot.
Won't have to
how you
worry
have to
about
talk to your
bathroom
robot
breaks if we
legs.
cut off the bottom half of our employees.
yet. Exactly. I won't have to worry about not being uncircumcised anymore. I can have a robot cock.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can keep a little homing device on them and send
Mike,
them back
you
to
can
work.
have- you have
Yeah.
2
You had enough
penises.
sleep?
Yeah, you'd be like, "Hey, ladies, check out this 7 inches of soft steel extending out of my penis."
Yeah, it's got a hard drive in it.
We cut off half your body so you could use half the amount of sleep. Now come on back to work.
Gotta get that REM, baby.
Speaking of soft steel, I would love to take a urine.
All right, cool. Cut it there. In October of 1789, Marquis de Lafayette, with the help of Thomas Jefferson, drafted the Declaration of Rights of Man and of Citizen to the National Assembly.
See, I think declaration. I think Declaration of Independence sounds a little better.
Well, it does. This also wasn't a legal document, but rather a manifesto of the cause.
All right. Well, neither was the Declaration of Independence.
The Declaration of
Just-
Independence. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a declaration.
Yeah.
It's not binding. It's just, hey, I'm declaring this.
we're saying
I'm
it.
declaring the rights of men
Yeah, I could be like, I declare that. I
and
will-
citizens.
Yeah, I declare I will come to your house, grab all the koi out of your koi pond, and use them as fleshlights.
That's terrible, but
But that's the
accurate.
Declaration
That's
of the
Travis.
Rights of
It's
the
not
Koi
legally
Ponds.
binding me
Actu-
to do that.
actually, I ran into some raccoon trouble recently involving kois, and I think they were doing just that. So that lines up with your story arc of the grander roast mortem tale, which
Well-
is you like to have sex with raccoons.
Oh no, I think great minds think alike. They like shiny things. They like got human fingers.
Okay, thank you.
all right.
Continue, Tom.
Robespierre was involved in focusing on free speech and accountability for those government positions. And he wanted, it didn't matter what you were, comptroller. He wanted accountability.
That's my favorite government position.
Comptroll?
Yeah, comptroller.
Oh.
I never knew what it did until I mean, I still don't really know what it
what does
did.
that mean?
But I always imagined that the comptroller was the guy in charge of traffic.
It does
Like-
sound like a trafficy word.
I always thought like I want to become comptroller and change the position to be in charge of traffic, so that way it makes more sense.
It's true. I just like the comptroller because they gave me 12 grand.
What?
What is that? What the comptroller
No,
does?
apparently, yeah. Apparently, you can look up your name, and it could be like, oh, there's money that you just never claimed, and I had like 12 grand sitting around.
What's this called?
You probably owe money. I'd be careful.
Yeah. Shit. Well, maybe I don't. So, Travis, what was it called again?
It's the New York State comptroller, dude. Check him out. Send him your dick pic. He'll send you extra money.
But instead of giving you 12 grand, he should be fixing the 5-way intersections
He
that I have
should.
a problem with.
Right, exactly.
That's what I want the comptroller
Yeah.
to do.
He should be arresting my cousin Mike.
What I do?
Gilgo Beach murder.
Yeah, you're wearing
You know
a
what you
Gilgo
did with
Beach
your
corduroy
life.
hat.
I like
All
to
that-
hang out at the beach.
All that lifesaver talk.
What, you don't like a prostitute once in a while?
Mike was walking.
Robespierre
Tom.
was involved. I don't care. I really don't care.
Cut that out,
Robespierre
Zwick.
becomes
No,
comptroller.
I'm editing this one.
Cut that out, Tom.
I see what you've done. Robespierre was involved. Oh, like I said, I said that part away. He began staying in the public eye more, giving speeches about freedom and whatnot, with the general public torn over his sincerity. Some people thought he was very sincere, and others thought he was full of shit. In October, he won over a large audience, endorsing the women's education movement during the Women's March on Versailles. Important note here, he didn't think that women should have the right to vote, which I think he might have some points there. He talked about property rights not being a qualifier behind voting. So anyone should be allowed to vote except women. So he...
What if a woman owned a property?
That's how he
what'd
did it
you
in the
say? I don't-
speeches too. Is like everyone should be allowed to vote except women.
So he
I back
was,
the ladies.
he was able to get
Yeah.
in the good graces of the Jews, all the servants who had no chances, the black people there,
Oh.
the Protestants even, because they barely had anything.
Whoa.
So he had this, like, out of nowhere, a lot of support from
Man
people
of
who
people.
weren't heard so much. He also wasn't. It's funny because he was doing all these speeches and he was winning people over, but he was notably terrible at speaking, just like I am. Long-winded, fumbling, couldn't get to a point, lost the audience half the time, but he did it
Understand.
enough where he was able to keep one.
Tom, you gotta shoot more ropes,
Dude,
like
you know me.
Robespierre.
When I present,
Rope it out, baby.
Present. Imagine we did live shows, everyone would be sticky.
Oh my god. I'd have the biggest swamp ass to be like. Yeah. That's how I'd just be nervous.
that's just the biggest one.
It'd be like a real guar
Yeah, it
show.
would be. Yeah, it'd be very. Yeah.
It's wet and different. Now, his history of isolation and thinking he was better than his peers made his speeches very long-winded and unrelatable, which is weird because it works sometimes, and other times people would just walk out of the room on him.
Like, what the fuck's this guy talking about?
Yeah, exactly. He's he did get a little better at speaking later on, but overall he whiffed audiences all the time. See. The assembly was in Paris, hard at work, restructuring the future France. A few ideas were fought for, and Robespierre kept pushing the idea of the old Roman Republic. Listen to last week's episode if you want to get your head around that shit. Connor, thank you for
Yes,
covering Gaius
Yeah.
and the Republic.
Gaius Marius and his love of the Republic that he wanted to be ruler of.
Yeah, that's right. But you got Robespierre here. He's jerking off all over that idea. Gaius Marius. Oh, love him.
That was a big thing in the 18th century, where they were all like, the Roman Republic was perfect. Let's go back to that. And just ignoring all the other parts of the Roman Republic history.
Yeah, all the
Sounds like a
terrible
little
bits.
familiar.
They loved ignoring the pedophilia. They love that. Everyone ignores pedophilia.
Make France Rome again.
Yeah. Bring back the boys.
Mifra.
Yeah.
Mifra. Mifra.
Now, he joined one of the most influential political clubs, the Society of the Friends of the Constitution, or the Jacobin Club. Jacobin. Within this prominent group of slightly wealthy revolutionists, Robespierre's ideas, they really found footing. He would practice his speeches and run his ideas past these folks before bringing them to grander assemblies. They sharpened his tongue a bit, and they thickened his skin, and he probably had sex with him because it was a private society.
That sounds so boring.
Yeah.
This is like everyone's like, ropes shooting ropes is showing up. He's like, hey guys, gonna practice my speech. France should be for everyone, guys. Okay.
Yeah, well, do your speech, and we're going to drink wine.
And bang ass.
Yeah, we'll be over here banging ass. Do me a favor, when you're done with your speech, can you smack my ass with your tongue? In the March of 1790, he became the president of the club and spoke on their behalf. The club then decided to remove any of the namesakes that represented nobility. So the D in his long-winded name that I mentioned before, he got rid of it, so it was just Maximilian Robespierre.
I like that.
The assembly had no money, so they had taken all the power from the monarchy, but they were already bankrupt. You all know that. So like idiots, they made their own paper money, which you had mentioned before.
Nice stock
But,
market, baby.
yeah,
coming soon.
Didn't go well.
Stonks.
They, the inflation thing. It got you.
Uh-oh.
Inflation's not just for pool toys. This shit fucks you up in real world.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
This is why the currency needs to be actual gold, not none of that French papers.
Get us back on the gold reserve.
Yeah, come on.
I'm a fan. I'm simple.
Yeah, but how, Tom? Imagine if we were on the gold standard. You'd be like, "Here's my tiny ass nugget. I'm just gonna buy a Snickers."
Look how I carry scale with it.
This is like
It's better than my made up bank money.
It's true.
You can
But
at
you
least
just
hold
be
it.
like, you'd be like, "I'd like to buy that Jimmy John sandwich," and then you'd like have your gold dust. And be like,
No, you still pay with $1, but the idea is that the dollar
backs
has
up.
a fixed gold weight.
Yeah.
no, but not. I'm saying more like back then when the currency was the actual.
Oh, when it was
Blowing
actually
Yeah, right.
when it was actually the coin.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But, here they just tried to bypass that and make monopoly money, basically, somewhere between what we have and they have. I mean, at least we have guns behind our monopoly money.
Yeah.
We have saved fetuses.
Well, I don't know if you're gonna get to it, Tom, but Maximilian Robespierre, big fan of guns for the citizens.
So I'm going to assume that's the case because he was so much of a free speech guy.
No, he was a big Second Amendment bro.
Good.
Yeah.
I like that. That's
he
fun.
had the Second Amendment bumper stickers on his car.
Because I'm doing
Yeah,
it.
don't tread on me. He had all that
NRA
shit.
sticker too.
Yeah.
As I say, when I see those cars on the I see those cars with those stickers and the "Don't Tread on Me" and the Punisher thing, I think that guy's well read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the first thing I think.
That guy went to college at 9 years old.
Yeah.
I saw the best bumper sticker. Not to get off topic. It was a stick figure family with the Trump wave hair over the whole family.
It's amazing.
Wow.
I was like, this guy takes the cake of bumper stickers.
That's a good one.
heinous.
Yeah.
The Trump wave hair bumper sticker trend is catching on. I
Oh
saw
my
someone
God.
had it over they had the Trump wave hair over a fetal heartbeat.
Wow.
Oh, that's Trump's mind.
I want to put a sticker. I was like, how many abortions do you think Trump is paid for?
Oh my god.
I would think 0 because he's man of Christ.
Oh, right. I
Sure,
forgot.
yeah. Favorite book,
Yeah.
Bible.
Yeah.
Favorite story in the Bible, all of them.
Yeah.
Can't choose. 'cause
All
he
of
likes
them.
them so much.
It's all one story.
He's so good he can read the Bible upside down.
That's true.
I'm a
That's
big
true.
fan of the stickers. I'm thinking about collecting them to put on my Jeep Wrangler.
They'll
And
be worth
possibly
money one day.
upside down.
Yeah.
I would put the Trump wave on it. If you can read this, one of those stickers.
Tom, you just
right side up.
you need to with your Jeep. You need to fill up your back window with all different Calvins pissing on different things.
And then build a Calvin to go on top
Yeah.
that's peeing on your Jeep. That's,
Yeah, you've got like a pump built into your car, and it's just like spraying.
no, that's where the windshield spray comes in.
Like a Burger Boy kind of thing, but it's just Calvin pissing constantly. Build a little fountain system. Have to load it up with Gatorade every time I go.
Damn, sweet ride, Tom. Fuck.
Oh, thanks, man. It's a lot of no miles practically per gallon. But
It's actually the Calvin's leaking gas.
6 Gatorades per mile.
How's this do at bridges? Low bridges.
let me tell you something. It's not a commercial vehicle. It is.
Residential.
I could do what I want with it. It's my country, and I'll do what I want. I'll walk all over with my Crocs on it.
You're a goddamn great American.
That's right.
You
Yeah.
see what this says? JEEP. I can drive on the shoulder.
That's right. Look, I'm starting to hate my Jeep right now because I'm looking at those Ram 2500s. Whoo! That's a fun
I
car.
thought you were gonna say the Bronco Sport, but Tom, continue.
Okay,
All right,
thanks.
so Max.
Guys, I'm sorry. I'm getting a little wordsy right now. I'm starting to trip over my words because I'm crying because of the freedom we have
Well,
here.
sleeping's gonna be nice tonight, baby.
That's right, man. That's right, man.
Mike Regan's sleep tips. Get a good cry in.
The pillow always feels softer. Let's be honest.
Yep. Anyway, let's get back to Robespierre. So,
Rosie.
the National Assembly, they seized the church property and auctioned it off. This made the church not only furious. Oh, Taylor, what are you doing?
Hello, Taylor.
Oh, okay. Taylor's here. What was I saying? All right, so this made the church all furious and stuff. And while Robespierre was not on good terms with the church, he didn't want to see it vanish altogether. He was not an atheist. He mentioned
You mean he wasn't smart?
the smartest people I know love Trump.
Christopher Hitchens, bro.
Hey, God.
Wait, Trump, smartest man we all know. loves God.
Yeah,
well,
that's true.
He made a book. He's smart, right?
It's not. It's a dichotomy thing. I don't know what that word means, but I'm gonna say it's one of those things.
Dude, roll Stardust.
That's
True.
right. So he doesn't want to see that shit. He doesn't want to see the church vanish. When he mentions this in a newspaper, the public tune starts changing. Remember, I said we get a lot of hot cold. So people are liking him, and out of nowhere he goes, well, maybe they leave the church alone a little bit, like the ideas behind it, and they start talking shit about him. They see him as a flip-flopper. They go, you're a revolutionist, but now you're not, because you like God, and we hate him now.
He's double dipping.
Well, because the original tune was shibba-dibba-dip-dip-dip, ah.
Yeah.
And he changed it. And
So
everyone was
I
like,
get
what?
knocked down, talk about Jesus Christ, and I get up again. It's a 40-day thing.
Yeah, and everyone's like, I liked shibba-dibba-dip-dip-dip, ah.
Right. And once the once favorable view of the public grew sour for Robespierre, as I mentioned. One view he kept spouting about was the inheritance laws. So here's something that people didn't like on any side. He was talking about how when someone died, all of their fortune should go to the state, and that would be divvied up equally amongst people. Now
That's dumb.
That's evil. That's not even communism.
fucked up.
That's terrible.
That's dumb.
Now, he was booed off stage for that. He hid away in his apartment for a while, stopped making public appearances, and read a lot of mail from female admirers. Believe it or not, a few months of that, jerking off onto
Letters.
parchment.
Shooting ropes?
And he's like, I had enough of this. I got to get back to the public eye. So he starts getting back out there. In 1791, he argues against the death penalty. And if you know where the story is going, that's very fun.
That what?
Yes,
I never
he-
knew that. That is amazing.
Yes, he was a firm advocate for dismantling any type of death penalty.
No guillotines?
No, nothing. Especially,
kinda fun.
Especially those.
That's
Especially those
like an
ones.
event for them back then. I was like, yo, let's
Mike,
just go to
wait.
the
You
guillotine.
wait till you see where this story goes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is also the year that France makes the guillotine the official method of execution.
Oh.
Which
In 1791.
apparently the guillotine is more humane than lethal injection.
I believe that.
I believe it
It's
Yes,
more humane
quick.
than like almost any other way
Yeah.
of killing
Or
people.
shooting someone or yeah.
It's quick, right?
Because it's literally instant. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
they say that lethal injection, like people can't move, but like all of their veins are on fire.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
You
It's
know, like-
terrible.
well, it's easier for the witnesses
What I
for,
like
for lethal injection.
What I liked is the Spanish take on the guillotine, which is the garrote.
Is that where they cut your head off and you fall into a paella bowl?
It's you've heard of
Like,
like
they use it as a soccer ball.
you've heard of like what is it, the garrote, when you like grab piano wire and string it around
yeah,
someone's
that's,
neck.
that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Garrett.
Yeah, but they had a device that was similar to the guillotine, but they twist it.
Oh, yeah. I've
yeah, where you
seen
get
So,
the
yeah,
wires
like,
and then you just
it
like
was
You're
like a
tighten,
guillotine,
tighten,
yeah.
but like
Ooh,
mechanical.
fucking
Yeah.
hurt. Oh, my God. Imagine some twisting in your
forget
neck.
Fucking tune you up, bro.
Oh.
I forget who it was that got guillotined, but like it was one of the famous guillotinings, and they didn't put their head in all the way, so it went like through the back of their skull and like out their jaw.
I think that was called Blade 2. Wesley Snipes.
And there's that guy that was like, "Please guillotine me, I'll blink afterwards."
Oh, right. He was a scientist.
Scientist boy.
15 seconds, my ass.
That might be an
Done.
urban legend.
Here's
Just mouth it off.
20 minutes.
Quick, let me suck my own dick.
What?
In June of 1791, Robespierre was elected to the position of public prosecutor in the Paris criminal court. The people loved him, but many of the press outlets went on smear campaigns against Robespierre. Up and down with this guy. You're
It's
never
the
really going to know.
90s.
Paragraph to paragraph.
Who
people
knows?
are very, very hot.
Is he back on the death penalty at this point?
No.
Still
not yet, not
anti-death
yet.
penalty. All right.
Yep.
Real
making
Martin
up-
Scarelli.
He's buying Wu-Tang albums
Yeah.
left and right.
Yeah.
Right. So, besmirching of a classy gentleman the same way we have done with Martin Scarelli, the newspaper sources started making up things about the dirty things that that Robespierre would do with big titty ladies of the night, diving into orgies and other Marquis de Sade related kind of things.
Oh, little libertine.
Yeah, and just throwing his balls on a fucking 10-year-old person.
Oh, no, no,
You
no.
said person. You didn't even specify.
Well, it doesn't
Ooh,
matter.
It doesn't matter.
When
That's
you're that
fucked up.
sick, does it just throw some pudding and see what happens?
A little Roman helmet action.
What's a Roman helmet?
You put your balls in someone's face.
Oh, is that what that is?
Oh, it's a teabag. Oh, it's
I feel like that'd be more like a Norse helmet because
like-
they had the little nose guard.
could be. I just heard it's when you dangle the balls in front of the eyeballs. Roman helmet. You want to try that one out?
I'm trying
But
to
not on
think
a
why
10-year-old.
that
Don't
would
do it on a
happen.
10-year-old.
Yeah. Well,
It's called the Pink Eye Supreme.
It's called. Continue, Tom.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
How's Christian Mingle going, Mike?
Very bad actually. Girls like a lot of money. I found out.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It was my looks got me in my early 20s, but now it's like, I want like a family and a house and someone with goals.
Okay.
Right.
And I'm just like, all right,
Just keep looking for girls in their early 20s then.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
You got a few
hard.
years. You can get away with it for
Yeah,
a few
you
more
can get
years.
away with it for a while.
I'm looking for a very specific. I've dated a lot of psychopaths. No one wants to hear this shit.
I actually love
I think it should be a bonus,
This is-
a whole bonus
This is
episode.
far more gripping than
You want to
anything
hear about my
Robespierre
love
did.
life?
Mike's love life.
Actually,
bonus
no,
episode.
okay.
I've got some good stories.
Okay, if it's a story, let's get back into Robespierre.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
we'll continue this later.
Don't date a girl that abuses laxatives. Let's say that.
That'll be the tease.
There you
A
go.
little tease
Yeah.
for you. A little tease action.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, I just want to make sure. Okay. Well, technical difficulty. Where the hell were we? Right. So things
Robespierre.
are very tense around this time. King Louis, he had fled Paris, and excuse me, and several other flip-floppers started fleeing the city, driving the conspiracy theories of an invasion plotted by disgraced nobles even deeper. So the tension is not just the things happening in front of people, but it's all being twisted in their heads. The press had a lot to do with that too. Press is terrible.
It's like modern day.
Yeah.
Louis was arrested and placed back on the throne in some kind of house arrest. He really didn't have a lot of power. It was more the symbolism behind what it was like to be a Louis.
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 Louis. Louis.
There was a lot of finger pointing within the National Assembly. The Jacobin Club had been invaded by the National Guard, and this once big political movement was broken up into little factions. Those were things get extra hairy now. Robespierre became a avid believer in the original principles laid out in the declarations of the rights of man and of the citizen. And he became even more vocal about the free speech thing, and he started practicing that. Daily speeches. Now he's on the road all the time, going all over Paris, giving speeches. His little group, little tiny faction, had about 30 members. Most of them were Jacobins, and the rest of the Jacobins had gone into hiding.
So, I mean, free speech, you still be an asshole and say things, and then you got to deal with the consequences.
Shut up, you liberal. He took a no-compromise stance, which I can commend that. Some people cheered him on, and other people started to fear him because he started saying some things that were a little extreme.
Uh-oh. Like what?
See? He'd be like, my pee-pee is so big, I fuck your wife. And the guy's like, oh, I will do you.
He's a Russian.
Yeah, I will do you.
All right, well, that would be scary.
Yeah. Imagine a fucking guy Slav squatting being like, I'm going to do you.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
You couldn't just push him over.
No.
So the assembly had plans in closing as the constitutional monarchy was set into motion. So they had come up with an agreement, and the assembly was like, all right, we're going to call it for a bit. I don't think there was any formal plans to come back in and redo anything. It was just like, this is what's happening. The king agreed to pretty much whatever they put on the table was a formality. Whatever you do, I agree to it because I don't want to get killed. And the tension actually eased up for a little while. The assembly dissolved in September, and Robespierre was somewhat of a hero for being so committed to his cause. Now that everything was easy, the theory that he was spouting was easier to digest.
Okay.
He's moving the Overton window.
Right, we're dealing with like a short 2-month period where everything seemed like it was going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
So the First and Second Estates hate what's happening to their country. All the perks are being removed. The country was also upset about a pending war with Prussia and Austria. The Austrian Empire was pals with old Louis and was ready to wage war if he was harmed at all. So,
And Marie Antoinette was the daughter or the niece of the Austrian emperor.
Yeah.
So like the French people hated her because they're like she's an Austrian spy, and so then that war was partly to rescue Marie Antoinette. That threat of war.
right.
It's like they're gonna come steal their princess back.
Were they Austrian Habsburgs?
Yes.
Oh, so she had a fucking gullet.
Did she really?
Well, no, I think she was regarded as beautiful, but
Beautiful
this
in Habsburgian sense.
What does that mean?
Lisa Antoinette.
she looked like Jar Jar Binks. That's why I said beautiful.
Oh,
Like,
she's
Yeah, beautiful.
beautiful, like Jar Jar Binks.
That's hot.
That's right.
That's dummy thick.
Now, France would be
Yo,
caught with-
Shrek's wife. Hashtag hot.
The
No one has
hashtag
ever
green
described
thick.
Kirsten Dunst as dummy thick.
she's kind of textbook dummy thick in a lot of ways. Think about it.
Historical thick. How about
Spider-Man
that?
thick.
Spider-Man thick.
Spidey thick.
Melissa McCarthy. Hashtag thick.
Spider-Man 3.
Large.
Hashtag.
Very large.
Now, France would be caught with their pants down if Austria invaded from the east, since the entire National Guard was on duty in Paris because of the assembly. Side note, this was like the last paragraph I wrote last night when completing the script, and I had one of those moments where I couldn't piece together how to write pants, and I kept writing Pance, and I just
Pants.
was like, why does this look wrong?
I'm gonna pants on you real quick.
Because that's French.
I wrote it 3 times. I was like, I swear to God, that's not how it's written.
Pensée.
Omelette 2 pounds.
Yeah, so if you
I'm
want to
gonna go
name your
fromage.
first son Pants, feel free.
Thinking about
The
it.
Legend of Bagger Pants.
Pants de Leon.
I was gonna call him jorts.
Yeah, sure.
Jorts.
This is my son Pants, and this is his sister Jorts.
Jorts.
My cousin Denim.
It's a Jorts. Seen Papa.
Robespierre had gone back home to Arras for a little vacation, and even considered stepping down as member of the Estate Assembly. But when he heard the news of Austria and the Prussia tension, he packed his shitty bags and went back to Paris. Now I say shitty bags because he had no fashion sense at all. In a fashion capital of the
In
world.
France? Well, I thought he'd be rather dripped out.
No, he pretty much had to wear that wig in all the portraits you see of him because that was the uniform. But he was a dirty, dirty man.
Yeah, he
swag.
wasn't the meme boy, the one that's like, ew.
Yeah, I forget that guy's name.
I
But
forgot his name, but that guy's got swag.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy. For those of you at home, Travis is pointing 2 fingers and looking like he's going to
Double
rape.
finger gun wink, but also holding a cane.
Yeah, and,
Travis
and
is
about to
describing
rape.
a meme right now.
Yeah, he's describing a meme, which I believe, Mike, you hate that more
taboo.
than anything. Yeah.
It's taboo, Travis.
Taboo.
Unless there's an image to back it up, you can never describe a meme.
Mike, you know what I'd say? Taboo. You don't even know what that is.
As Yahoo, but
Too young.
taboo.
Oh, what?
Damn.
I'm old. I'm getting old now.
Well, I
Don't
know, 'cause
brag
you're having
about
a hard
that,
time
dude.
with those 21
Growing
year
up.
olds.
Yeah, that's why women want Mike to buy a house for him before
Yeah.
they want a date.
True.
Yeah. Hey, before I put out, can you buy me a house? At least a condo.
Yeah, sure.
Here's my children.
At least
From another
co-sign
baby
a
dad.
lease
10?
on an apartment for me.
They're all 10.
Mike, you just gotta be careful at this age. You gotta blow through all your condoms before you put them on. Make sure they turn to a balloon.
I usually poke holes in mine. Get a little,
That's what you're looking out
I want
for.
a danger element. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm kind of doing the right thing.
Well,
but it's not
I have
the
news
best.
for you. Did you know that Crocs started making condoms?
Oh,
Well, I'm not having sex ever again.
Awesome.
cool.
Celibate. Here
So-
to here.
In
Except for with those
1791
prostitutes you chop up on Gilgo Beach.
We realize we're on a podcast.
He has sex with them after their date.
Yeah, after, right? Yeah. They're not getting pregnant then.
No
STDs
resistance.
die with them.
Yeah, yeah.
You're incriminating my cousin. My cousin.
I like
Reach
to
out
go
to
to
me if
the
you need
beach.
details.
I like the sand dunes.
You like digging in them.
I like going there at night digging sand dunes.
Getting those deer ticks in the fucking tall grass.
Yeah, I got to cleanse my blood. Get a little Lyme disease in you, a little Lyme cleanse.
Call you human margarita. You got some limes.
I'm gonna get bit by a tick later, like this week or some shit.
Yeah, you're never gonna be able to eat meat
I'm
again.
gonna have like one side of my face all slop, scooped out.
Oh,
That's
well,
fucked. Knock on wood.
I don't even care if you had money. If you have a face like that, no, I can't do it.
All right, Tom, tell us more about this rope shooting boy, man.
1791, back in Paris, he met up with the Reformed Jacobin Club, where he was welcomed with warm-ass Jacobin, possibly
10-year-olds.
soaked in poop arms.
Oh.
Oh.
Now, many things did not go according to plan when he had left, and the citizens still hated Louis XVI. The new assembly legislation had to deal with the floods of rich folks and military captains that were leaving France, and made a law stating that anyone from the Second Estate that did not return before 1792 would be marked a criminal. So this is a contentious point.
That's hard to prove.
Well, you got to, like, where were you? You just have guys at the border going, "Hey, where you been?"
So I was taking a little. I left like last week.
Oh,
Say some. You can make up. You could lie back then. Like I guess I didn't think about it back
I
then.
didn't think
like
they were
that.
so honest.
Well,
So
this is-
honest. Yeah, God was watching. I forgot.
I mean, this was also like with Marquis de Sade, he fucked off for a little bit.
Yeah.
And they were like, like all these nobles were just like, I'm gonna go to my fucking villa in Italy,
Do some holy
you
shit.
know,
Or
do
something.
some
Rape a
fucking
kid or
bang
something.
boys
Yeah.
because I'm French.
Like you said, yeah.
You ever heard of a banh mi sandwich? Let's continue. So French people are nuts, right? And many of them want to go to war, even when their military leadership is in shambles and so much is happening internally. They love a war, believe it or not.
This is like the raddest part of the revolution.
So Robespierre then went on a speaking campaign against the potential war with Austria. He wanted people to focus their own shit. He wanted, like, you have shit, focus on it. Okay, boys? Stop with this foreign, like, Austria, who cares about them? Marie Antoinette, who cares? Think about how cool it is to be French.
Yeah.
Get these people in line, get them behaving. Think about the French arts. He talked about that a lot. Make that happen. Prepare the military, but for defense only. Okay?
This is sad, but I think of Coldplay whenever I think of this shit. That
Everything
song.
Everything of
What?
France.
I think of
Why would
that
I-
song "Viva La Vida." Because the album cover, I think, is the French Revolution on it.
Wait, are you getting that confused with "Livin' La Vida Loca"?
No, I mean I'm being dead serious.
That's Pancho Villa's.
No, you know what I always think of when I study the French Revolution?
That's that song
Coldplay.
is playing in my head. Dun 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 dun.
Keep going. Keep going.
Keep it going.
I'm describing a song right now, like Travis was describing a meme before. It's not translating well.
I just imagine
Never
Mike.
does.
I imagine Mike flying into Paris and he puts his headphones on. He puts
I used to rule
He's walking
the
down
world.
the Arc de Triomphe. Oh, that's
God,
nice.
this is a history show. God damn it, Chris Martin's alive.
Save Coldplay for Heavy Hole when you guess.
Yeah.
That's the cold heavy
Right
coming up.
now, all the stuff I mentioned that seemed like good ideas that we're talking about. Robespierre, a lot of good ideas here. Keeping it at home. There's a lot of turmoil. No support. This is when his people liked him the least.
Oh,
In February of 1792, he was elected public prosecutor in Paris. In April, war was declared against Austria, and his public image stooped even more. You know, the common folk thought that his whole anti-war rhetoric was just not patriotic enough. And it's like, well, you know, like you're killing your own French people.
Like
Yeah.
the entire army leadership just quit, and the French people responded by saying, "Like, well, fuck you, we're gonna go to war now."
Yeah.
That is rad as hell.
Honestly, like reading this, I mentioned before, I don't know a shit ton about this time period in France, but the people remind me of the movie Idiocracy. They're all fucking retarded. Like all the time.
Yeah.
The worst, like the common perception of what's going on is so misguided. I have no idea.
It's
what
like mob mentality running a government.
yeah, they're just so dumb.
Well-
and they change their tune like day to day. Like one weekend it could be like, let's hang this guy, and then the next week there's ally.
you gotta think of their source of information, Tom. It's very slow, right? Isn't it?
They're slow.
No, I mean, like, all right. I'm not. I know I'm an Anglophile, but I don't know too much about the
That
revolution.
means he's
But
a racist.
yeah, but I do.
No, imperialist.
And he
but I-
hates
yeah.
Jews.
But I do know some stuff about the Napoleonic Wars, and the French army were just a bunch of rapers,
Rapers.
and hoarders.
Rapers.
Like they would just fucking come in, loot, fucking
They did
rape.
back then.
Like throughout Spain, they fucked everything up. Like Spain had like militia groups that were just fighting against the French because all the French did was rape them.
Oh my
Not to
god.
say that the fucking like English didn't, but the French were very driven.
You're
very
saying-
driven. Very driven.
Very driven, right?
They go hand in hand.
Unlike the English people who, after raping you, will make you a cup of tea.
Yeah, you know.
I fancy a shag. You'll make a
It's
tea.
kind of hard to fuck
Right.
someone when you have to wear a neck collar.
A
and your
Jacqueline
red
Ruff.
coat.
Yes. Well, here. Remember, I turn in the public focus from one way to another. As soon as the war starts, everyone, all the common people go, "Why did we do this?
This is a terrible
stupid
idea.
as hell."
We're dying.
They're getting destroyed in this like theatrical war. This is really just a show of pageantry. There is no real war happening here. Connor mentioned before, Marie Antoinette, they're going to save her. That's it. Like, this war is garbage. But the French are still losing terribly. Like, no one had to die at all. And they're just dying, so they go, "Oh my God, why are we won now? Robespierre."
I'm surprised humans made it this far, honestly. It's crazy.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And during this whole time, you have the killing of noblemen on the street, which Robespierre did not condone, but he also kind of shrugged off. He was just like, "Well, they're mad.
At least it's not
you
me.
know, man. Hey, wheat price is a little high. You know, that's your fault."
Less competition. I think
Yeah.
he's looking at it like,
Robespierre saw how these revolutionary ideas were not taking hold the way he thought, and he was upset with how dumb those French citizens were. And then he begins to question his own belief system. Remember I said he was into the Roman Republic stuff?
yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, "I don't think these people are smart enough to have that."
oh.
So this
Yo, is this a guy named Gaius? No, it's fucking Pierre, dog. He don't even know.
We gotta save the people from the people.
He don't even know, dude. Is this dude named Luciano or whatever the fuck his name? No.
That's not Italian name.
Yeah, this is fucking Pierre 2, Super Pierre.
What's another French ass?
These
name?
people are idiots.
Augustine. I like that.
Yeah,
name.
Gaston.
Augustin.
Right. A new
That's a sick
conspiracy
name.
begins to run wild about the king's complicit role in the demise of his own people during the war with Austria. A bunch of districts in Paris got together to create a revolutionary army called the Commune of Paris. Robespierre was like, "Common people doing shit? Hell yeah, dog." So he joins the forces with the Commune.
Fire.
The Commune is hyper violent. Just
Oh.
anyone who runs across them that has a nice thing, they're dead.
Yeah.
So it's basically shoes, belts, and scarves.
Yeah, if you have one of
It's
those
France.
things,
Fucking
you're
dead.
dead.
So
Give me that
Belt
bread.
buckle?
Yeah.
You got a belt buckle, you're not wearing suspenders?
is that an
You
Hermes?
motherfucker.
Yeah, is that an Hermes scarf, dog? Get it.
Right.
Get it.
And
Get
because
it.
those
Get it.
people were so ready to do that, Robespierre's like, "I'm going to organize this bloodthirst. I'm going to make the rape make sense." Does that make sense?
You got
Not to us.
I think in Texas it would.
yeah,
He's like, let me put this in a spreadsheet.
exactly. So there's this shame of a sham of a war. Sham. Not reading well.
A shim-sham of
Shim-
There's a
Sham.
sham of a war happening with Austria and potentially Prussia. They start coming in, but no one's really paying attention to Prussia at the point.
Which is small.
And people figured out that the king was using the warfare to suppress the revolting of the Parisians. Enthusiasm for foreign conflict had completely dwindled down within the months of the war's outbreak. So you had all this crazy shit where people going, we need to fight. As soon as the fighting happens, Robespierre was right.
So he's basically Rage Against the Machine.
Bulls on something.
Pulls on
That song's not
the
very good.
Palace
No,
de
it's not
Concord.
very good either.
Come with it now.
Coatable.
So there were many factions of the revolution, and many of them were working for different causes, and perhaps even being divided by the First and Second Estate via the propaganda and other nasty techniques. The previously mentioned Marquis de Lafayette, leader of the National Guard and once ally of Robespierre, had led somewhat of a theatrical coup that took over Louis's whole situation, but it was all like a joke, really. It was
Farce.
Well, it wasn't. It was very symbolic. It was peaceful. It was a coup. Like, a coup's not supposed to be peaceful.
Right, Louis like, "Oh my God, you are taking over. Thank you,
Right.
thank you.
Let me go back to
Yes,
hunting.
thank you."
Please let me go back to hunting.
Right. It was.
Conspiracy theories unlocked.
Can
we're
I
getting
please?
into that. I mean, there's a lot to be had when it comes to conspiracy
Oh my
theories here,
God.
Mike.
Is this our 9/11?
Can I please take a doggy bag with me?
Yes.
So now,
Yeah, there were people that took doggy bags from 9/11 when they were running on the stairs.
I'm grabbing this brick for my kids.
this is gonna be worse than one day.
Get this pack to go.
Can I get it to go? The fucking floor below me is on fire.
I'm gonna take this asbestos with me.
Yeah, as fast as
Asbestos.
I can.
I'm running as fast as I can.
There. Holy shit! Never come to New York again.
Get out of me stealing them away.
Imagine the fucking Korean that was in Paris when all the shit was going down.
The one Korean.
That one guy.
That one Korean, he's like, ah, fuck Paris. I'm never coming back.
Oh,
here
yeah,
again,
this place
dude."
is terrible.
Yeah,
I'm gonna write a book about this.
Going back to North Korea. Fuck this place.
yeah, he's gonna start K-pop. When he comes back.
Right.
Going to
So
Seattle.
during his Marquis de Lafayette's coup, he said some very inflammatory statements about our fellow Robespierre. So now they were enemies. Once they were good pals, and no longer. You said
Once
something
brothers.
mean about me.
Talking shit, bro. I'm gonna kick your freaking ass.
August 15th, 1792, Robespierre proposed the need for a revolutionary tribunal with representatives elected from all over France. The needs of the people were not being met, and he wanted to change that. Fortunately for Robespierre, most of the people who opposed his ideas had no militia to stand in his way. So they were all fighting a pretend war in the name of patriotism, or already getting slaughtered by the National Guard years before. Look at that. Robespierre had the biggest army in France by accident.
Whoops.
Failing upwards.
Whoopsies.
Oops.
I'll take it.
Wait, I got you guys.
Right. So the commune is very violent, as I mentioned. They had killed 600 Swiss guards that were imprisoned.
Wait, what happened to our freedom boy Lafayette? Like, was
Well-
he just like so? Like Lafayette, like did he fuck him up? What happened?
Well, I don't think they. Oh, that's a great question.
I'm just saying. Lafayette has like the eagle wings of America behind his back.
He looked like he had enough spotlight where I didn't want to dive into his story that much. And what I read from Robespierre, there wasn't much of a overlap after that.
Oh, okay.
It was
So
more
he
of a denouncing of association.
because he was jailed for a bit, but I, don't know.
think-
If
yeah, I
it was
think it
by
was, like, for
Robespierre.
Lafayette.
He was. No, he would be jailed
Yeah.
during this time period.
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, we're going to talk about the time period in
He
which
was
he
like
would be jailed.
pro-revolution, and then as the revolution got more and more fanatical, he eventually became like, it moved so far past him that he was viewed as like a traditionalist.
Right, which is
okay.
the
That's
whole
kinda what we're
script
getting
kind
at.
of turns into that.
Okay,
It's
I
like
just-
it's
I just-
wild
the story
shit.
of the
Yeah.
French Revolution.
I
is
just-
it gets more and more radical that the initial radicals are viewed as like the moderates by the time that they get executed.
Right.
I didn't know. I just didn't know if he got fucked up when Robespierre had his army right off the bat.
No,
Like,
I could tell you how he treated people that did not agree with him 100%, but when it comes to Marquis de Lafayette, I didn't touch him.
all right.
Some of those commune members were taken to court by other tribunes and killed for their participation. And some folks want to see the Robespierre tried for his alleged involvement. This never actually happened, so it's so torn at this point, where there's like multiple courts of the
Yeah,
revolutionary.
it sounds pretty fucking chaotic.
It's not good.
Yeah.
Basically, Afghanistan.
Very messy.
Well, I mean, it makes Afghanistan look like a Barbie doll.
That's true.
Yeah, because even
Those
them,
fucking
they have the
camel
rules there. Everyone agrees on the rules. We don't like women.
They have one set of rules.
Yeah,
Battery acid goes on your face if we see it.
yeah, pretty much.
They like Drake though over there.
They are
They love
They
Drake.
love Drizzy.
really. Is that a thing?
There's like so many videos I'm dancing. with Drake.
hotline bling.
There are videos of them like they're all holding like AK-47s in the Afghanistan presidential palace, and they're just like bumping Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like God's plan is like playing in the background.
I wonder
It's
how
wild.
Drake feels about that.
It's probably like
Plays or
do your
plays.
thing. Yeah, do your thing.
No
man. Yeah.
numbers.
Drake's like, that's cool. I like Spotify. Look, I mean, I've never seen a whole nation of closeted homosexuals like I have with Afghanistan.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, pleasure. They say the pleasure system's in your ass, right?
yeah. If I was that gay, I wouldn't want to see women either.
Yeah.
Well, you know, virgin boys for the warlords.
99, baby. 99, I heard he got.
Turn those into mean men. The revolutionary uprising across France started to take off. More violence, more curse words, more fruit throwing. Even the progressive folks who wanted to see the Soros bricks flying through windows started saying, okay, it's a bit much.
Too
Okay.
much.
You've gone too far.
September 1792, the National Convention elections take place. Robespierre managed to exclude any votes from the first and second estate members and removed any chance of their candidacy.
What happened to every man that owns land?
They're fucking being pushed around right now.
Saying,
But this is
hypocrite.
they're still living in their own fantasy world because a lot of things are being upheld. They're still paying people to protect them, yada yada yada. Who cares? It's France. He also became the first deputy of the National Convention, as his popularity was soaring at this moment. We'll see where that goes. For some reason, there was some kind of French victory in their war against Austria, and even though his anti-war view had swung from a not very popular opinion to an extremely popular one, within that same amount of time, it swung back to not popular opinion because they were winning. God damn it!
Can't win ever.
He managed.
France hates winning. That's the
Fuck
difference
winning.
between us and them.
Losers are cool people.
Yeah. Is that what you put on your Tinder?
Yeah.
Like, I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah,
I'm
that's
a
what Mike wrote
loser.
on his shoes.
Yeah.
I am a loser. I am cool.
Yeah. Come suck a nut out of my dick.
Please marry me, princess or prince.
You can take me for half of what I'm worth.
Shit.
It's a day's wage.
You know who
Probably.
was French? Merlin. And he looks like a cock with that hat on.
What the fuck is Merlin?
What?
You don't know Merlin?
You don't know who Merlin is, dude?
Come on, Mike.
Am I blowing this? I'm a little stoned.
Yeah.
That's all right. Hold on. Just
This is
sit
part
tight.
of the script.
Keep getting stoned, you'll see Merlin.
Merlin Twist.
Yeah, he's
Merle
a
Haggard.
rapper. He's little
Merlin.
Merlin Haggard. Let's continue.
You guys are putting words in my mouth.
I've never said anything about your mouth.
Continue,
He managed to give a good speech one day that got the public to leave him alone for a while, even though they were up his ass about like, we can do it, and he was like, that's not what I was saying. December 1792, the Assembly put Louis on trial for treason, and the once anti-capital punishment Robespierre called the trial unnecessary and called for the death penalty immediately. So he had also made his own swing of opinion.
Oh, very
So-
drastic.
Tom, I have a little question here. Do you know when the guillotine was invented? Was it something that was just like laying around in storage and they just like dragged it out? They're like,
Connor, can you
1587.
fact check this?
Yeah,
man?
I'll
I
just-
fucked
I'm
that
just
up.
I'm
interesting.
pretty sure it was invented right before this period.
1500s. I'm calling it. Put
No.
money on it. 1500s.
well, I'm just saying it was so convenient, so iconic with the French Revolution. It's kind of weird. It's like, where does this thing come from? It just comes up to chop kings' heads off.
Was it for fruit?
No,
No.
that's what people on YouTube use it for.
Oh, like chopping watermelon.
I do know. I remember hearing that the guy who invented it was killed by it, right?
He was a Blinky boy?
I think you're right. I think the guy who invented it was killed by guillotine.
Isn't that,
Yeah.
that's ironic.
I mean, imagine.
You're gonna build this. We're gonna kill
I
you
was
with
gonna
it.
make. I was gonna make two. One of two machines. One was the guillotine where the blade cuts off the head very quickly, and the other one ass rapes you to death. I'm really glad I went with the head one.
Do you think it was made by one of the two guys that had that show, the bald dude and the ginger guy?
What, Mythbusters?
Yeah, do you think it was made by that guy's, like their
Probably,
relatives?
their ancestors.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It was invented by a French surgeon and physiologist with help from a German engineer, Antoine
Germans.
Louis and Tobias Schmidt.
What year?
15.
15.
No, 1700s.
Fuck
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Because
God
the
damn.
whole idea was an Enlightenment idea of let's make execution less painful.
Okay.
They weren't into the BDSM.
No, no, like let's
Yeah.
make it nice and quick.
It was weird because they tried to do this thing. They consider it more humane, therefore we can do it more often.
Yeah.
Fire.
It makes killing people easier and it's better for the person dying.
It's
No
probably
TV.
more fun, too. I mean, they probably weren't lopping off heads with swords for a while now. They're probably just shooting people. Everyone wants
Yeah.
to see a head get held up.
clean cut too.
Yeah, that is weird to think of. Actually, the guns were around for a while before
yeah.
the guillotine was around. You would think the other way around if you were a brain person.
No, but the executions were always a spectacle, and guns
Yeah.
weren't a
Yeah, it was like a
spectacle.
fair,
so
yeah.
it was hanging, beheadings with an axe. 'Cause
Yeah.
it was better than
Whoa.
a sword. It was better for chopping. And then they were like,
More
well,
weight because even if you fucked up, it would go
yeah.
through something.
Well, they also had special big ass like cloud type swords that they'd make. It was like special swords that you couldn't fight with because they were so fucking heavy, and it was just to cut people's heads off.
That's fire.
Right, and I know that before this, the execution method in France was hanging. So I guess they shifted from the sword to the hanging and then guillotine.
Or-
I'd be a
Humane.
little pissed off if they switched to guillotine because at least with the hanging, you get to see a boner. Because everyone that gets
true.
hanged
Yeah.
has a boner.
That's
Right,
true.
even the women, yeah.
Even the
It's
women,
weirdest
the
thing.
clit.
Yeah,
Like,
hard. This is horrible. This is hot.
Yeah, it's like one of those little mini bananas you see in the grocery store every few months. You go, what are those? They're kind of cute.
Well, I guess your
Yeah.
life's flashing before your eyes and you're getting hanged. You're like, oh, I'm gonna go to the good memories of having sex.
Yeah, but when you're in France and you're in the third estate, there is no life to fresh. It's just like looking at dirt.
I thought I was looking at peach ring assholes and what you were saying before.
That's the internet life. If
Oh.
you were to get killed, you'd be looking at those peach ring assholes.
They're looking at woodcuts of
all
Marie
you- and
Antoinette.
and the blank stare of all your victims that you're burying in the sand
yeah, no.
at
First
Gilgo Beach.
Estate is living like.
I don't know what he's talking about.
No, First Estate is like if you had a life, like if there was a Second Life version of Pornhub, where like everything you could imagine on Pornhub is just right in front of you. That's like, sorry, Second Estate.
Second estate's like
Second
that. 'cause
estate
the other
is
ones
like
were
that.
It's
clergymen.
like Tinder.
Well, the clergymen also were like that.
Well, they
too.
were just little boys. They skipped. They were just like, we're skipping all the fucking the ramp up. We're just landing here, and
Yeah.
we're gonna be the worst people on the face of the planet and tell everyone else they're being the worst.
Let's do it.
Right. So back to Robespierre. To quote him, the reasoning is Louis must die because the homeland must live. So that's kind of how he lived the rest of his life moving forward. Now that the big honcho's done,
The rest of us
Homeland
can
will live.
thrive.
yeah.
right.
Sounds like any place that sells kombucha.
The trial raged on for a month, and in January 16th through 20th of 1793, the assembly voted on the death penalty and just do it. January 21st, 1793, Louis was executed on the guillotine. The country was not looking too hot after that. Incoming Prussians and the economic turmoil, it's not good.
So Tom, we're gonna enter, what is it called? The Reign of Terror now?
The Reign of Terror.
We're
Wow.
about to
Yeah,
enter the
we're
reign
about
of
to
terror.
heads will roll.
That's right.
People were like, "Oh shit, that was cool when our king fucking lost his head."
Let's do that to
Right.
everyone.
Do it.
So Robespierre, after he had made this proclamation of we got to kill this asshole so the country can thrive, they kill the asshole, and the result is not exactly what he saw. He saw these common people that were still worried about the price of fucking bread and soap and shit, and he's just like, "What are you worried about that? We had the big part figured out. We got rid of the big guy."
We solved the problem.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, he's got a lot of money. So he's like, his set of problems are a little different than the common man,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
though he claims to be the champion of the common man. So,
But
England and Spain also popped their ugly heads into the mix with threats to intervene. The newspaper had all kinds of different opinions, which they were printing, and the once free speech fanboy Robespierre quickly changed that opinion when he started claiming that these newspapers were saying all these anti-patriotic things. Well, yeah, it's pretty quick, one life event, and all of a sudden you hate free speech, and you
Yeah.
like other things like healthcare. By April 1793, Robespierre firmly believed that any cause or person who he saw as a threat to the state should get the guillotine. He had made a hardcore switch. He thought that
Flipping, flopping.
if there were wars on the borders and in the other countries, that the French citizens must be able to kill the enemies within the state as well. So the wars outside, he was like, well, there's a war here too. So God damn it, I'm going to kill some of my Frenchmen.
Bring the war home.
See, Connor, I liked
Paranoia.
what you said before. That one guy that like got half of his head chopped off. So you could just like do just the tip, so they could still walk around, but they're like brain dead.
Yeah.
Like just
It's like a
the
lobotomy.
tiny top. Yeah. Just a tiny top.
well,
Take it off.
haircut.
Yeah.
It's in style.
Yeah.
France is now in full-on civil war. Two definitions of patriotism collided, with the royal sympathies now under the impression that the revolutionaries were being funded by the Austrians. The Committee of Public Safety was formed as the provisional government in France, of which Robespierre was the leader. He basically had full control.
Maybe the most ironic name for a committee of all time.
Yeah, the Committee of Public Safety.
What do you guys do? Oh, we're the Committee of Public Safety. We guillotine everyone that disagrees with us.
I mean, I feel like public safety still does that, but it's with possums.
Get him out of here.
Get them out of these.
We're public safety. All we do is kill vermin.
Yeah. Mike, you get out of the park. Stop
Get outta
skating.
here.
What are
You're
you doing in the
disrupting.
park, young boy? It is 8:30.
You're making noise pollution. I'm trying to be quiet over here.
There are old people dying over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had some public
Go be
safety
loud near them.
dickheads. Oh my god.
Yeah, you as being what I would call an illegal skateboarder child, you have seen a lot of dirty public officials who have basically no power, but pretend they do.
Yeah.
What do you say to them?
Well, sometimes they're right. I guess you aren't really supposed to be skating on public property.
Damn it.
Fall in line, the
So
third
upsetting.
estate.
I was like,
So upsetting.
yeah, I mean,
Third estate.
So
Mike.
what you're saying very clearly to us right now is that if these guys weren't around enforcing those laws, you wouldn't have killed all those prostitutes.
I don't want to disclose any information on this podcast.
Fair enough.
And incriminate me in a court of law.
Mike, how's the Lyme disease doing with those ticks and tall grass?
Sex has been hard.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Now there was this
Very
is
hard,
the
I'll
time
say.
period. This is a time period, as Connor and Travis had mentioned, the Reign of Terror, 1793 to 1794.
Terror
This is
Squad.
where Robespierre really flowers into the full form. It's a very short period of time, but my God,
He was busy.
Robespierre placed loads of people under arrest. Even once national revolutionaries, the Girondins, which I didn't-
Girondins.
thank you. I didn't say it once out loud
Girondins.
while doing the research.
Come on, Tom.
Also,
Girondins.
Marquis de Sade.
Oh, was that him? At this time?
He threw Marquis de Sade into jail, and Marquis de Sade would outlive our boy. Wink.
Wink.
A little
wink.
foreshadowing.
So I'm
from
sorry,
Travis.
Connor. Say it one more time. Is
Girondin.
Girondin? Right.
Girondin.
There's like other letters in here. That's what I hate about French.
Yeah,
They
it's just
hate
like-
phonetics.
Pronounce like
Girondins.
6 of the 20 letters in a word, and you're probably pretty close to the actual pronunciation.
Yeah, throw
Yeah.
some X's in there for like. I feel like it's like they're cooking. They just got to throw in a little spice here.
Vowel
right?
heavy, and just leave out a lot of the word.
Honda.
Right. So basically, the Girondins were these people who were the part of the Jacobin Club that Robespierre very could have well been part of. Their political ideas were not that far off if you look on paper what's happening, but Robespierre was so paranoid that he saw these people, he jailed them and murdered them all. He was like, you guys are bad for me. But things,
It's not,
You know-
not a bad idea.
Yeah, you know too much about me, dog.
yeah.
They
So,
keep power.
Civil war is waging while enemies were looking to invade from all sides. America,
Fuck.
the beautiful country, did a very limp-wristed attempt at trying to send aid once to France.
We're sitting in
And,
Florida.
big surprise, Britain was like, not you guys. And they were like, well, sorry. We'll go invent cars. Now, let's see, we got a little more to go here. I hope you guys don't mind. It's a little longer than expected. The Committee of Public Safety. Yeah, that name.
Yeah, it's great because they're
Jean
just
Day.
chopping heads, dude. They're chopping off the king's head. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So it's led by Robespierre, as I mentioned, and he was detaining anyone that he saw as a threat. It turned into a very black and white thing. Either you were a Republican or you were a royalist. Robespierre was fighting 2 wars at the same time. Luckily for him, he had control of all the institutions except for the local police. He had needed to rebuild most of these institutions, so he had to build new school systems. He was big on the education thing.
Doing
wanted-
it for the kids.
Remember I
like
said
Bernie
he-
Mac.
Yeah, he was doing it for the kids. You remember how I said that, like, he was kind of turned off to the idea of his republic because of how stupid these people were?
Yeah.
Like the Roman Republic idea, he
he's
saw that the
attacking
holes
at
in
the
it.
root. Make them smart, then
Exactly.
they can have
He
the
was-
republic.
Precisely. The idea is right, the people are wrong. So we need to fix the school system. So the school system, the way that worked is that they were all run by Catholics, and that shit was taken down. So all the teachers had fled. So he had to replace all of the teachers.
They had to replace the Catholics with the Scholastic Book Club
Yeah.
because that's how you make money and learn about
Yeah.
money.
Look, it's a difficult thing. Like, look, all the priests flee, so the boys are happy. Okay, they can breathe.
Yeah.
How are the kids going to learn Captain Underpants without Scholastics?
Well, that's a great question. But either, well, listen, Captain Underpants was the name of one of the priests at these schools. Very different meaning. So when they left, the little boys were like, "Yeah, fine, we can get them."
Thank God Captain Underpants was gone.
Yeah.
So
Capitan Underpal.
he kind of sets himself up for failure because he's trying to teach these kids, and the only smart people there are the Catholics because they were the ones who held down the education. So it's an uphill battle from here. Now, Robespierre, he starts a new tribunal that had sentenced over 200 nobles to death before the actual trials begin. So that's not a bad start.
Yeah.
He did it.
Head start.
His once kind outlook on refugees and transplants in Paris took a weird paranoid change where
Close the
he said,
borders.
get them all out.
Yeah.
Anyone who stay here, lock them up. Get them.
Don't come.
No one's coming here.
Don't come.
No more
It's just
coming.
like Japan.
No more coming.
No more coming.
No,
No come
more.
here.
No. Put that dick away.
Yeah. Blue balls only, baby. Let's go.
Let's go, Mike. Blue balls.
Now, he believed that if the common folks had voiced opinions different than his own, then it was because they were corrupted. Not because he didn't necessarily represent them anymore. It was just them. You know, it's like, I know what's best.
Yeah.
He sounds a little crazy, Tom.
It's funny because if you read the next line, it says here, look at that. It says this guy sounds a little crazy. To me,
Ooh, wow.
extra crazy. Yeah, he's crazy.
Hey.
Does he have syphilis?
Whoa, is that the
great-
next line?
No, it's
insight.
not. That is not. But Travis and I, we got a drink at a bar earlier, and as stupid as we sound on this fucking show, we actually talk about history at a bar,
Yeah.
and we sat there and we pondered. We said, "Well, this guy had quite
Gotta be
his
having
way.
sex all the time.
He was having a lot of sex.
Yeah.
Prior to this, banging whores left and right.
Yeah,
Probably a
dirty
little
dick.
syphilis.
Do you think that he probably put the whores in the guillotine, like just as like a thrill, like their heads in there?
Maybe.
Don't
Yeah.
worry, baby. Don't worry. I took the blade
Don't
out.
worry.
I took the blade out.
about it.
The blade's just a watermelon rind.
See this? You see this right here? I control this shit. It's crazy,
Yeah,
It's
right.
crazy,
That's it's kind of cool.
right? See that?
May 7th, 1794, during a meeting of the National Convention, he announced that he was starting a cult called the Cult of the Supreme Being.
Fire emoji.
I love when he just comes out and it's like, I'm starting a cult. Like,
He's honest. I like that. An honest leader.
Now, I
Well-
think that... I'm sorry, Colin,
no,
what was I saying?
go ahead.
No, I think the definition of cult was a little more lax back then.
Like
it
church.
was so cool, like Kool-Aid.
So this is interesting because the Supreme Being, like,
He's a hype beast.
there was like a movement at the time, even in America as well. I mean, we're in the 1790s. Like Thomas Jefferson and even Sam Adams, they didn't necessarily believe in God.
Yeah.
They just believed in like they're
Illuminati.
agnostic. They were just kind of believed that there was a higher power.
This is exactly what's happening.
So yeah, he's kind of falling in line with.
Freemasonry.
They call it what, like Unitarianists now.
So yeah, there's like this. It was a reaction to like all the atheism. You see, they had the Catholic Church was out, and there was so many revolutionaries going,
I'm sorry.
"Fuck God." Yeah, what's the idea? What are you saying?
You think maybe a little bit Illuminati, like the secret kind of cult thing?
I mean, this is all kind of weird.
I guess he's open about it. He said he was open. So
I mean,
it's not
no-
really a secret.
The Illuminati was big into the Supreme Being and not necessarily like
It's more
God.
like the Illuminati like grew out of these
Yeah.
sects than he's
Right.
starting Illuminati.
Yeah.
And since the way the Catholic Church was booted, right, and then there were all these people who had made another cult called the Cult of Reason, which denied any existence of God, and that was never really what he was shooting for. So he was like, "You're all idiots. I'm going to do my own cult. It's going to be the Cult of the Supreme Being. It's very similar to the Cult of Reason, but we acknowledge that there was a God who dropped us off here, and now we have to do our own thing." It's stupid.
I kinda
It's
like
just-
that,
It's
though,
just like an
man.
extra step. Like
It's the absent parent version of God.
yeah, basically, Dad did love us.
Not anymore though.
Yeah, he's over us now.
He went to go
So
get
I-
cigarettes.
Yeah, I can get my 5-layer, but I can't fucking deal with the consequences.
Right, and not that people were extremely outspoken. I mean, like Catholicism was just thrown out the fucking window. People's beliefs are all over the place. He's now just looking silly. He's looking like a
Silly man.
silly man who's ready to cut heads off.
Yeah, we're all
Silly
stardust.
boy.
Let me cut your head off.
So the tribunal couldn't take a goddamn day off. Every day there was someone new being tried for conspiracy. By the spring, there were 6,000 political prisoners in Paris. Now, one close friend I thought I would mention here is this guy named Danton, which is spelled like Dan Ton. But I'm trying to be fair.
Savvy.
Dang
So
dong.
Danton, a once close friend and political ally to Robespierre, whose views now he had found way too sympathetic to royalty, and therefore they were treasonous. Seriously, these two could not be any closer up until the year before this. They both Jacobin members. They stood for almost identical causes, stances. They were 100% in line, but I guess a couple things just kind of fell off. So this guy who maybe disagreed with his God theory or said that maybe they shouldn't kill every single noble person, well,
Get rid of this fucker.
He's
Yeah, fuck that, dude.
right. And they held court for him. And Robespierre, who they were running court all day, every fucking day. And when he was up, Robespierre went there and attacked his character personally, and it was devastating.
Robespierre is like, should we kill him? Oh my God, should we kill him? Is that a sunfish? Should we kill him, Donnie? Oh my God, is that a sun?
Oh my God!
Is
what
that
the fuck is that?
What the fuck is that?
It's like a fucking whale or something.
It's like a baby whale.
So he gets killed April 15th of 1794. Laws are passed in Paris stating that there were no foreigners allowed within city limits, and all conspirators will be tried by the tribunal that Robespierre had handpicked all the members of. All this power, it's not just going to get to your fat French head, but it will make you very tired. So Robespierre gets very tired.
Fatigued.
He gets fatigued. He's overworked. Poor guy.
He's doing a lot. Cutting off a lot of heads.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of work pulling that fucking lever.
Or just
he's not
watching
really
it. You're just
good at
watching
it,
it.
Yeah, he's
It's
just
fucking
watching.
horny as fuck. It's like, oh my
Yeah.
fucking god.
Fuck you.
This is awesome.
Look at that. hole.
10 seconds left. Oh god.
I wish this was a hanging because I can see pee.
With all the silencing and arresting and executing, it got him. He was down.
Got him.
He was upset too because all this time he's doing this for the French people,
They hate him now.
and they hate him. And people won't shut up about it. He even thought that the fear part would make him make them at least accept what was happening.
I'm like, fuck this dude.
No.
Yeah.
But they were still vocal. They were just like, no.
Yeah, no, they're like, we like that lollipop man that was all fat and fucking eating cake all the time with his fucking dumbass bitch Austrian wife.
Big milkers over there.
Yeah, with them
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
milkers. Like, that's better than getting our heads cut off.
Right. And then the assassination attempts started. One of them I thought was pretty interesting and kind of worth telling. I'm copying this right from Wikipedia. I'm being very honest.
Go
right
for
now.
it.
Yeah, respect.
Do it up.
On May 23rd, Cécile Renault was arrested for having approached Robespierre's residence with 2 penknives and a change of underwear in her bag. She said that the fresh linen was for her execution. Dressed in a red smock, she was executed together with her parents and 52 others a week later. So all she
52
did,
others?
52 other people.
Oh, shit.
I don't even know this fucker, and I'm dying because. Or is it because of
No,
her,
it
or
was-
it's all together?
No,
It was
it's
probably
just
just
like-
like
okay,
it's
okay.
execution day.
But what I'm saying is that
Round
she just
them
walked
up.
up to the
Gotcha.
residence and he was paranoid enough that confirming or denying whether she was there to kill him or not, she had something that could kill him.
She was just kinky.
No,
It
she was.
fucked up.
No, he was pretending he was the TSA.
Give me underpants, bitch.
Yeah, give me
Take off
for
your
Obama.
shoes.
Yeah, what you got in there?
That's fucked up.
Now, after this attempt, Robespierre created a law making fake news punishable by death, an open-ended law that made it hard for pretty much anyone to not get killed. Because
Yeah,
it's just
imagine today, everyone would be dead.
we're all dead anyway.
If you make a shit post, you're gonna be done. You're gonna be
What?
executed.
Guillotine.
Roast Mortem's real news, so.
I
We have
believe
real
it.
news. That's
Real
true.
news.
That's the only thing I listen to is roast mortem.
Well, that's good, man. You always learn
As I'm getting smarter every episode. You can
Yeah.
tell.
every episode.
Yeah, I see your brain growing.
Learn to move the microphone a little bit closer every episode.
You're doing real good this
Yeah,
episode.
you're
I was
doing
gonna say
great.
something at the end.
I liked
but
how it's right here in my cock. I mean, on my lap.
you can keep that stand.
Yeah.
The trials, they get a little crazy, okay? They're doing about 30 people per Paris district a day arrested.
Wow.
300 trials a day.
Tom,
300 a day.
what they do with their domes after they were lopped off? Do they burn them?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Connor, I mean,
I think they impaled them on stakes, and then they used it as a little warning device.
They definitely
I'm
boiled
just
some
throwing
of
that
them.
out.
yeah,
Stakes.
well, you're not.
That's like what they usually
Maybe.
did. I don't know.
I mean, we
Yeah,
could get killed right now if this is back then. You said something fake like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I
Maybe
feel like
it's,
that seems very medieval, but I don't.
Are you going to snitch on me? You going to tell this fucker?
They just threw in a pile and called it compost.
True.
Anyway, 40 to 70 people were guillotined every single day in Paris.
That's quite the show.
It's a lot of blood.
A lot of things to watch die.
So 5 months of this shit goes by.
Oh.
And while he wasn't at every trial and execution, he has certainly set up the system. You know what? Honestly, I had this thought. If I lived at this time period and I was executed, I probably wouldn't care that much because it seemed terrible
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, right.
Starving, probably. Syphilis, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, you're like fighting dogs for like a spare rib, like a Chinese
Yeah.
spare rib in the street.
Fighting
Right.
fake wars and shit.
Yeah, like maybe you're recruited and you're fighting the Prussians.
Now there was,
Shows.
the years of revolution that had led up to this point. The 4 or 5 years of this that in total had seen 400 executions. About them, but after he takes over in 5 months, we see about 2,000.
Ooh.
So you can see people are probably
Pumping those
a little
numbers.
alarmed.
Yeah, that's like a whole family
I-
just dead, you know,
Yeah.
whatever.
I wish like America existed like as it does today, because we would have been over there in a second. We wouldn't have limp wristed it.
We'd have drone strike
No,
them.
no oil there.
Yeah, but they got cheese. Americans love cheese.
love our
So
cheese.
yeah, so almost as important as oil.
Snails, those snails over there.
Yeah. Well, according to history, he wasn't. People don't consider him a dictator or tyrant because he wasn't in power that long. But really, he was.
It's like Mini Boy, like a little mini dictator.
Yeah.
A little burp in the history of France, I'll say that.
I like
golf.
that.
Like
That might be the subtitle.
Burp
in the history of France.
Now, he had spent more time in isolation due to illness and perhaps guilt, which did not help his public image at all. They thought that he was scheming. Conspiracies of him taking the empty throne started to circulate.
Oh.
Ooh, no one really you didn't think about that.
King shooting ropes.
Yep. In August 1794, the deputy of the Assembly Convention, Louis Lochet, issued a warrant for Robespierre's arrest, along with some of his other cronies, including last page, guys. His brother Augustin Robespierre. He was thrown into.
What did Augustine do?
His associate.
He was just with him the whole time.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like Barnes to Selena, baby.
Because you said he didn't do anything. He's like, this guy was just a shadow boy.
He tagged along.
Oh, okay. All right. He's jerking off to the heads
he's the
falling.
yes
It's like
man.
if Tom fucks up, we all die. 'Cause Tom
I
did
guess
it.
so.
All right, that's
I'm not
fair.
the leader of the show. Travis is.
Travis,
No, you
fuck up, we all
introduced the
die.
show, so you're the leader.
You are the leader.
I was introducing the show from show one because you were shy. But this is your idea, baby.
I'm not shy. My anus is wide.
So Travis fucks up, we
I
all
think those
die.
are mutual exclusive things. I think you can be shy and have a wide anus.
Oh,
You have
I'm
that
just
peach
saying.
ring, Travis.
Anyway,
Do I have a lifesaver?
You have a lifesaver.
Oh, thanks, Mike.
Me too,
anyway,
bro. It's all good.
let the leader talk. God damn it!
Sorry.
So Augustine, he's in jail.
So he's in jail. They're thrown to. You asked me before, the Palais du Luxembourg, a prison in Paris. That's
Sounds
why
nice.
Connor said, "Why are you googling Luxembourg?" That's what he said. Like that. I was like, Connor.
It's not the country.
Because it was just the Google results page for Luxembourg, and it was just sitting there. I was like, so what? Wait, why did you not even have to click on anything? Get your question answered.
That's my
I was just making
homepage.
sure.
Like whenever
Hey,
I launch
I
Google,
had two tabs
it's just
open. I had two
Luxembourg.
tabs open. I was just making sure I wasn't the crazy one. Robespierre, his brother, and his other cronies managed to escape the prison, probably because the guards let them out.
I want to get guillotine. You go.
Yeah, well, they weren't tactile men, but they were bureaucrats. You know, they were able to talk to people.
Weasel. or
Yeah.
whatever.
Like, hey, are you
Grease
from
them
that
up.
third estate? You guard there? Well, I'm Robespierre. You might know me.
I can fuck your wife. Or something
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
If you don't let me out of here, I'm
Type
going
shit
to
like
fuck your
that.
wife. And the guy was just like, sure.
All right. See you later, dude.
You know how many
man.
views I have? Like, this is a guy that goes to the bar. He's like, you know how many views I have on YouTube?
Subscribers.
Like, yeah, you know how many? Like, and he just like pulls out his bank account. And he's like, check this out. And he's
Look
like,
who I've worked with. I've worked
Yeah.
with Samsung, Sony, and you name it, Apple.
You know who Jake Paul is?
I worked
He
with them.
punched me in the face once.
Yeah.
Right. So check this out. This is how much of bureaucrats these guys are. Instead of running away or making a great escape, he and his goons run to town hall to start a new committee that would overturn the convention arrest warrants.
Oh
Wow.
boy.
Yep. So
Death
the
by paperwork.
but the convention, the forces, they already heard about this. Like they escaped prison and they're just like, well, they went that way. So the convention, they get their burly, hairy French men together and they go chase those guys into the town hall.
These fucking bozos.
Now-
This is like a Three Stooges bit.
Yeah,
now.
like,
They're
what
just
the
like,
fuck?
Right.
Why would they do that after
yeah.
escaping prison? Why not hide in your brothel somewhere? I'm sure there's millions
gotta
of
stick with
brothels.
what you
Yeah,
know.
they could
Go
have
to
just knocked on
Hungary.
anyone's door and be
Yeah.
like, "Don't tell anyone we're here."
yeah.
Let's go to town hall and do work after leaving prison.
Let's go fill out forms.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Hurry, Augustine! We have to write a document so they don't put us back in jail.
Do you have your pen? Do you have your quill?
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Right. So, the convention, they're running their case. They got men chasing them. They chase him into the town hall. As the doors are being knocked down, Labas, one of Robespierre's deputies, hands a pistol to Robespierre and says, "Here, you might need this," and takes his own pistol and shoots himself in the head.
Oh.
Now, Robespierre either tried to shoot himself or was shot in the middle of signing the document that he had just scrolled up.
Sick.
But either way, he had a big hole in his head that
Oh,
went all the way through his jaw. So, yeah, he was just like a mess from the
Oh.
nose down.
God.
But I signed the document.
Yeah.
I may have shot my face off,
Yeah.
but I signed the papers.
Yeah, I signed it.
Save the word document.
That's exactly what happened.
Like,
So,
It's on my flash drive.
Google Slides, get it.
I just mentioned how these people have no hands-on experience in reality, so I could see him just shooting his jaw off.
Oh yeah.
I can see it, yeah.
Right.
The brain exists in the back molars.
He put the gun like this.
I'm coming, God.
Supreme being.
That's how a lot of
Come
people.
on, Sabrina.
That's how a lot of people that shopped at Hot Topic went. So don't make fun of them.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're alive.
God bless.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
they
the-
just don't have a jaw.
So when the convention's forces, their footmen, they come in and they find him. He looks dead, but that's because he got shot in the face. And it turns out he wasn't dead. But
A
Mike,
living shell of a human.
ask me how he did it.
How does this boy kick the bucket?
All right, so as I mentioned, you would think he'd bleed to death after being shot in the face.
Syphilis.
Right. Now you think a little peener. That's where we always go on the
Sorry,
show. But no, he had just enough life in him to be tried and condemned to death by the courts. So they put him on trial. They go, Robespierre, you're not nice. And he goes, he tries to signal. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Actually, it's really pathetic. It was a really pathetic death. He signals. He's like, "Give me a pen and paper so I could defend myself." And they're like, "Nah,
Nah.
we're gonna kill you."
Come on, say it. Say it. Come on, boy. Come
Yeah.
on, Robes. Say it.
Say it. So he's aged. He's at 30. He's 36 at this point.
That's young.
Yeah. very
Damn.
young.
Very young. That's.
His PP might still work.
Yeah.
So Robespierre was marched through the streets of Paris with a bandage holding his face together. He's standing next to the instrument of his demise, and the executioner says to him, there is a supreme being," and rips off the bandage to show his mangled face to the cheering crowd.
Hell yeah, that's my boy Ropes. Get it?
He was executed by guillotine, along with 21 of his deputies. His last words weren't even last words. They were garbled, haunting, screaming frenzy that echoed through the Paris streets.
Oh, that's beautiful.
After his death, most French people agreed that that was the right thing to do.
They probably left like that was fucked up.
That's right. So there's Robespierre for you. If you think I missed something, it's because the French are complicated people.
So
They really are.
when was Napoleon after this guy?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Napoleon, Tom mentioned the victory that like turned the French into like pro-war after
Right.
being
Uh-huh.
anti-war. I don't think that one was Napoleon, but Napoleon was an officer during that like initial phase.
So he's getting the semi while this is happening.
He's gonna semi. He escapes the reign of terror by like the skin of his teeth.
No.
because like he just like barely got away from getting executed. And then like right after this period, he just like marches on France and is like,
All right.
"I'm
Yeah.
running the show."
I know that he also reinstated Catholicism.
Okay.
Because they had
He was like,
done
this
away
is a-
with Catholicism as being a national religion, and he was the guy going, right, you mentioned we need a unified France, not just with the language, we need a religion again.
Right. Well, he's a story for another day, but I thought it'd give you context because
Now,
I feel like you just think of, like, I don't know, like you said, the French Revolution is so confusing. You think of Napoleon
Yeah.
almost instantly and cutting off.
he's
the
he's
king's
an
head.
officer in the army that didn't run away at
Okay.
this time.
Alrighty.
He stayed and fought.
But that Ropes boy,
Yeah,
man.
he's,
Yeah, fascinating character.
Yeah,
Supreme being, I would say, is a hype beast.
Sure is the supreme being. That's good. We should put a supreme on the
Yeah,
artwork
Supreme
there.
logo.
Oh, I like that.
Give him a BOGO.
Yeah, a little bogo.
Box logo
Get
boy.
the sketch of where he's got the bandage over his mouth, but then just make it like a Supreme bandana.
that'd be so
Oh, I
fun.
like that.
Sick.
Some merch.
It's a
Some
hype
new
beast.
merch coming to Roast Mortem.
Little hype beast.
So it's a long episode. Travis, so good to have you back.
Yeah,
it's
dog.
Nice to have you in the flesh.
I like
have-
feeling your aura.
I'm gonna have a few more where I'm gone, and I'll be back for a few more.
Excellent.
I like to hear that.
Great to hear.
East Coast chilling.
It's great when you guys can just like look at my penis while I'm doing
Yeah,
the
it's
show.
great to see. If
Usually
you-
it's underneath
Glad
the
that you
camera.
kept it out. This
Yeah.
I did. I flopped it out.
it's very
Yeah.
massive.
If you heard any clinks from that's from my dick.
That's your
I got,
Prince
got a
Albert,
hard
yeah.
penis. Yeah,
Metal.
the
Looking
top,
at my
yeah.
tile floor here.
Yeah.
How much
It's
blood
not a
goes
Prince
to
Albert.
that
It's
thing?
just crust that's hardened. Yeah.
That's hot.
Wow. All right, cool. So, Connor, thank you again for joining us. We love having you here.
Yes.
Love being
Mike,
It's a
you made it
pleasure.
on time tonight. Kind of weird.
I guess that last lady that you
Short-circuited his brain.
last lady you chopped up must have been she must have had soft bones.
No comment.
Okay, cool.
Comment from Mike. All right.
Yeah.
And if you have comments for us, we have a, what do we have? We have a Twitter and all that crap. Just more Roast
Twitter,
Mortem Cast.
Instagram,
And they got some cool gear they never want to fucking give me.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, you're gonna have to buy it like everyone else.
Yeah,
RoastMortemcast.com.
You guys
Right.
give Connor a hat? Yeah, you probably gave Connor a hat and give me a hat.
I bought him 7. They're in the mail.
fucking kidding me.
My giant fucking
I was
head.
on time too.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
some
not-
kid made fun of me at a party saying I had a big head, and you said something about big heads. Your
I had a
is-
big head.
Yeah.
Do you think I have a big head?
I think I have a bigger head than you.
Who has the smallest head in the room? Probably me.
I don't know.
Hey,
We're,
Travis,
we're
man.
big head gang. I
Yeah.
think it's Tom.
Yeah, I think I had
Big
the
Tom is
smallest.
the
I
smallest
got
head.
a big head.
You guys
a
want to
string
hear
bean.
something the kid said to me that was pretty mean?
What?
We were at a party the other day, a little tipsy, and I was making fun of his shirt. It said "Burn the boats," some like Viking shit. I was like, I don't know. He's like, you need an extra strap for your hat because you have a big head.
Oh,
Dude.
Yeah, I was like, that was a good one.
I have a large king's head. Some people call me Choda, like Yoda.
Cut that out.
Have
I
you
don't
ever
wanna
seen
hear
The
that.
Mandalorian? That's my penis
I don't
riding
watch
on
Star Wars.
the back of Boba Fett's head. Is that even Boba Fett in that
I
show?
watched the
don't know.
original. I watched
It
the
is.
6.
Oh, okay.
only.
Well, not
I'm-
the main guy, but
I'm
Boba Fett
closing
shows
out
up.
the show.
Fett's
Good
there.
night, everyone. Thank
Bye.
you.
I'm a traditional
Patreon.com/Roast
six.
Mortem Cast.
Choda, bye, bye, bye. Choda, that's me.
I didn't kill anyone.
Au revoir.
Snails are gross.